Restream does not get sending data. Holding our fingers crossed. I'm watching. It's happening. Sending data on the thing. It's thinking about it. Streaming. Okay. It says there. View that. And click on the view of that. Hey, it's up. Look at that. Yeah, horizontal's up. I just had to throw a switch. Sorry. Okay. Ads monetization. Why is ads monetization not available? What are you talking about? What? We're making a minor update to our rep. Oops. Oh. YouTube stream. Oh, maybe they're only letting me do that. Oh, for duplicate programs. You told me I could. You rat bastard. All right. Maybe from different sources. Okay. Now we're only horizontal, so it kicked everybody off. Everybody's gonna have to go over to the other one. Happy now? That's super odd. They're punishing me. Okay, so... Yep, anything to keep me from getting any ad rev. That's clearly what's going on here. The nerve. Okay, now, we are here to do one thing and one thing only, really. And that's watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, I have to say, having watched a portion of it on Friday as live on my way to the... I had my Flapper show that night, and I honestly, it was so bad. His show, not mine. Flappers was lovely. I was like, is this going to curse me? This is so unfunny and brutal that I'm like, this is demoralizing. I don't know if I should watch this before I do a show. But you will see that it... almost by the lack of people responding to it on his side, I think Nicole Wallace did a thing about how he bombed on Friday. And this is one of those things where, like, they're lucky for them that this happened after the markets closed, because this in and of itself could have created a dip. Now, this is Wei Jiazhang introducing him at the Waldorf Astoria. And they clink their glasses, and then off we go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 45th and 47th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American. Don't forget this day.
Beautiful, but this has not been an easy evening, all these awards.
By the way, they laughed really hard at that because he had to sit through the Epstein Award.
Do I have a say in those
No, you fucking don't.
awards, all those awards? But it's great to be back at a place that I know very well because I built it.
He did not build the Waldorf Astoria. Just for the record, the Waldorf Astoria was there for a very long time. He bought it and did some shitty reno that, again, he picked out the drapes for a period of time, much like what he's doing. Like in the middle of a meeting about whatever they were going to do to the Waldorf Astoria, he got up and walked over to the window and went, "Look at that, huh? The view and the big hole right there, that's going to be filled in." And then he would fart and go back to his seat. Also, I apologize. There may be some viewings of the Nunt during this, so keep a barf bag handy just for your own safety. Pets and small children are, it would be smart if they left the room.
And I'm very proud of it because I built it for $2.9 billion less than the Federal Reserve building, which is a lot smaller, by the way.
Okay, so that was supposed to be a joke, and you hold for the laugh on that one. He does this horribly all night long. So he doesn't understand where the punchline ends because, damn it. See, I'm glad I put the warning up. But now it's just really bad because he does a lot of this. He does a lot of stepping aside and like, I don't know. And yeah, it's gross. So he breezes past the punchlines on all of these. And, well, you'll see.
Out. But I am delighted to be here at the...
Oh, and the Federal Reserve thing, by the way. That's because the Waldorf Astoria doesn't need enough security to protect the entire economy of the United States, like the Fed building or the Treasury would. Jackass. I made this hotel for a lot less than the Pentagon or the FBI. And you're like, well, yeah, because you don't want foreign terrorist groups and and intelligence groups and I don't know, cartels to be able to hack the fucking computers, dummy.
Correspondence dinner, amazing people, a lot of people that I like. Some I don't like at all, but I respect most of them. I must say that you do a great job, amazing job, and it's an honor. As I said 3 months ago, the show must go on. We were backstage, and we both wanted to just have.
We were backstage. Okay, not the last of many words that he just doesn't pronounce.
It go on, whether it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it didn't matter. But in the end, it made more sense to do it the way we're doing it. And we had a great news conference at the White House, in a very important room. And you did very well. I think we all did very well. It was a hell of an evening, I can tell you that. Won't soon be forgotten. And I think a lot was learned from that evening. A tremendous amount was learned about security and about other things, the dangers of what we all do.
Yes, because nobody had that idea. Also, no, they didn't. Like, the mistakes that were made at that particular place had very little to do with kind of the normal workings of this. Again,
but just
Trump's handpicked Secret Service guys, which he has had for a long time, repeatedly don't do their homework.
like my presidency, the second time is always better. It's always better.
See, steps on the punchline there. I mean, get to it. It's so lame.
And the third time will be better yet. I'm only kidding.
I'm only kidding. We know you're not going to make it.
From the earliest moments after the attack on our dinner last April, I knew we had to reschedule this event as soon as possible. We had to do it very quickly, and we met very quickly. And we figured something out, but the attempted mass murder at the
Why? Because it's an annual thing, and if you wait 6 months, it's just weird.
Washington Hilton, that's what it could have been, was.
Sorry, the what Hilton? You're going to see this all night.
We figured something out, but the attempted mass murder at the Washington Hilton, that's what it
The Washington Hilton.
could have been, was an assault on our democracy itself. Very serious situation. Many of you were there with me, and some showed extreme bravery, like Pete Hegseth, Steve Miller, Tom Holman.
This is more phlegm.
Really? They were standing on tables, and most of you were under the tables, okay? But they did. They showed. I saw every one of them that was standing up in those tables. I didn't
Yeah, citation needed.
know if they were brave, if they were smart, if they were stupid as hell.
Stupid.
But they were on those tables in some cases, and
In some cases.
there were a lot of different feelings going on in the room at that moment. But after hearing the gunshots, many people yelled, "Get down, get down," which caused Nicki Minaj to start twerking. Do you believe it? Get down. She's the only one that really understood what that meant.
He means the joke, by the way. He doesn't mean the phrase "get down." He means she's the only one who gets that joke. While some are laughing, there's Pete Hegseth and his wife, I guess, laughing, and a couple of that's one of the Fox tables. They're dead center, and that's why you see people around them, like in the back, just kind of like there's a lot of that. But that table laughs a bunch, and the table right next to them, that's his people.
It's quite an evening. But tonight we come back together to answer that heinous attack with unwavering resolve. And every one of us here this evening to show that in America we.
And every one of us here this evening to show.
And every one of us here this evening to show that in America we.
What I think he swallowed the word want or will or are going to or something.
We do not yield to political violence. We can't do that. Can't do it.
He's got a jibber jabber on all the applause lines. This is just terrible. This part of it annoys the shit out of me. It's like when he does, yeah, I said, you're fired, you suck, you're not good, you're fired. And that they were like, just say the line and shut the fuck up, buddy.
So in this country, we believe in freedom of speech. We settle our differences not with bullets, but with open and vigorous debate. And no deranged loser with a gun will ever change that. We can't let that ever happen. There are a lot of very dangerous people out there. We can't let it happen. I want to begin by expressing our gratitude to the incredible men and women who put their lives on the line every day to protect my family and myself, all presidents, and lots of others. That's the United States Secret Service, so I appreciate it very much. And Sean and the whole group, amazing job.
Probably the easiest applause of the night and the most, like, normal thing he says.
Amazing job. In recent months, they've repeatedly responded to threats with speed and professionalism and extraordinary courage, and there is no better example of that than Officer Victor Gonzalez, who we just met. It was amazing. What he did was amazing.
He just met him. This guy took a bullet for him, basically, last time, and he just met him tonight at this one. Didn't go visit him in the hospital, didn't say anything, just for the record.
When the would-be assassin charged the checkpoint at speed, he was fast. You know, when you looked at that, you had to look at it about 10 times before you really saw what was going on. He was...
No, you really didn't. It was a guy running, and then he fired a gun, because you could see, and yeah, you could see it pretty much right away.
Nasty. The gun made him nasty, actually.
The gun made him nasty. If he'd have run in there with a bat or a knife or something like that, he would have just been your friendly neighborhood political bludgeoner.
But Officer Gonzalez engaged the attacker without hesitation and took a bullet to the chest after his ballistic vest fortunately was on, saved his life, and
After it was on? What, did he throw it on while the guy was running?
Victor did not even want to go to the hospital for a checkup. We insisted, really, we wanted him to do it. We insisted, but he didn't want to go.
Who the fuck is we? You were gone.
So to Officer Gonzalez, Secret Service, Metropolitan Police, law enforcement generally, and even all of the military who surround us in the room tonight, we salute you and we thank you with all of our hearts. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Great job.
Like, everybody's like, yeah, oh my God, I have to clap at something he said because it's pretty much boilerplate, it's reasonable, whatever, yeah. And Caroline Leavitt wants it to be a standing O, so she, yeah. Pretty much the only one of the night that I'm aware of. And
these are great people. So this evening we're picking up right where we left off, so let's have a little bit of fun. You know, I said, what do we do here? Is this supposed to be fun?
Really? That's what you said? And here's the thing. I would assume that some of these things were a joke coming from other presidents. But I really do think he meant it. Like, he doesn't understand a roast because he hated his. He doesn't like being joked about. He's so thin-skinned.
Am I supposed to be serious? Am I supposed to be a comedian? So I guess you said maybe a little bit of everything. I know one thing I could never have done, the speech that I had ready just a short while. Oh, that was going to be a doozy.
Oh, so good. So much better than whatever bullshit they loaded in here. It's the same speech. It's the same jokes. There's one that they were going to take out because materially it's currently false, and you'll see why.
I was so psyched. I was going to rip people.
Oh, yeah, I bet. It was awesome. It was so funny, probably better not do it. Better to do what's in there now, you know? Man, go easy on them.
And I don't know, just something changed. It's really for the better, but
What were you going to joke about? I hope they get shot? This makes no sense.
I just wouldn't want to do that, but we'll do a little ripping if you don't mind. But it is true. I said, how do we handle
if I was on the dais, I would be worried that he was going to shit on me.
There's going to be a different kind of
A little bit of ripping is what he does all day long.
an evening, and it is. And in many ways, it's a more beautiful evening, actually. Everyone's looking really good tonight, and I know it was not easy finding shoes to go along with your bulletproof vests, which many people didn't want to wear because they'd rather die than look 20 pounds heavier. You know that, right? We have that a lot. They put one on me. I said, "Are you sure I'm not wearing this?"
That joke is about him.
No, you look exactly 20. They say, "Sir, it's about 21 pounds." I said, "Not good." But I want to thank
Again, he's not joking. He's just bitching.
the outgoing president of the White House Correspondents' Dinner Association. Now, she won't admit it, and she should not admit it, but we sort of became friendly. You know, in times of stress, on occasion, you become friendly. I have a lot of respect for Ouija, and I tell you, we went through a little bit of a war together. It turned out pretty good. It turned out pretty good because of a lot of good people. They stopped the tragedy, so I want to thank you very much. Fantastic job. And Ouija worked extremely hard to ensure this dinner was rescheduled, and we want to just thank her family. I just met her parents, her children, her husband. What a perfect family. So it's really great. Thank you very much all for putting up with this, right?
Again, what the hell does that mean?
But let me also thank
Stepladder, that's Wei Jiajia. She's the head of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, White House Correspondents Association. And among other things, she's in charge of arranging the dinner every year and that kind of stuff, and then coordinating any of the awards and that kind of stuff.
Incoming president of the Correspondents Association, Jackie Heinrich. She can be very tough as a reporter, I will tell you. She can be nasty. She looks so beautiful, but she can be so nasty. How could that happen? But she just got married to a very successful congressman, a very good congressman. I'd like to have a couple of more votes from it. That's okay. On occasion, he shows a little independence. We don't like that.
We don't like that.
But now he's a very professional.
They're all laughing. They are laughing because that's fucking crazy. Like, the reason they're laughing is because it comes across as a joke. We don't like that. He genuinely means it.
He loves our country, but that's a big thing. I just see what...
That happens a bunch, by the way. He says things that are just god-awful, and people laugh because he must be joking because of the context of the space they're in.
Takes place. We're talking about what takes place to be in the position that you're leaving and that Jackie's coming into, and it's a lot of work, a lot of friendships, a lot of talent, and so Jackie, congratulations. And congratulations are also in order for our favorite White House press secretary, Caroline Levitt, who just had her second child. You and your husband. She's great. She's done a fantastic job. We all love her. She's done a
little heavy on the cheek filler, it seems, these days.
Fantastic job. She's another one. She can be nasty. But sometimes she has no choice, right? But Caroline may have...
That's not a joke, by the way. Let's again, people are laughing and responding to these things like he's going to follow it up with a gag, and he absolutely doesn't. He just goes, "What a bitch, am I right? Let me tell you a little story about blah, blah, blah," or then joke. But he doesn't. He just insults her, basically. She can be a nasty one, and then goes back to yammering.
The hardest jobs in the White House. She has to deal with all of you all of the time, and you can be very difficult. You can be very, very difficult people, but I'm probably...
How difficult can they be?
Being a little bit oversensitive. Sometimes I really do think that some of you don't like me. In fact, I read a report, I get 93% negative publicity. 93. So how the hell did I win the election by so much?
Elon Musk cheated for you, I think, is the dead giveaway. I wouldn't bring that much attention to it. Also, you don't get negative publicity. And it's funny that you think of news stories about the president of the United States as publicity. You get 93% negative stories because they're telling the truth about what you're doing.
Think of it. I don't think that's true. I can't believe it's 93. In the 80s, maybe, but not 93. But this place is really the largest group of Trump derangement syndrome people.
Trump derangement syndrome people. Sufferers. This is like a terminal word for people with Trump derangement syndrome. Like, just word it properly. Trump derangement syndrome people.
Ever put together at one time, I suspect. Some of you are lucky that our last dinner was cut short because I had brought with me what would possibly have been, I'm telling you, I had something. I was going to go after you. I feel so badly doing this. It's going to be such a letdown. Oh, yay. But your lives were really in danger the last time for an opposite reason. But on the plus side, your careers were saved, and we really do. We have a complete and total. I love the words complete and total. They say, but it means almost the same thing. I said, it doesn't matter when you say it. It's called emphasis.
Oh my God. He's explaining why he wanted complete and total in the speech. Like, we have a complete turnaround or a total turnaround, or we're totally going to, like, people understand complete and total. Like, this is so fucking odd. This is so odd.
But everyone is now really warming up. The new White House military center, drone port, highly protected ballroom. We have our ballroom. The windows are this.
Oh, fuck me. What was that? Wait, back the fuck up. This sentence right here. He was talking about we have a complete and total something.
They say, but on the plus side, your careers were saved, and we have.
Okay, on the plus side, your careers were saved. End of concept, right? I didn't do those jokes last time, and your career was saved, almost as much as your life. Whatever the joke was supposed to be that he just mangled. Then this part.
We really do. We have a complete and total. I love the words complete and total. They say, but it means almost the same thing. I said, it doesn't matter when you say it. It's called emphasis. It's called emphasis. But everyone is now really warming up. The new White House military center, drone port, highly protected ballroom. We have our ballroom. The windows are this thick. I said to the people, well, if a bullet hits, what happens? Nothing. Nothing. It bounces right off, sir. This is the greatest bulletproof glass. I said, AK-47. That's supposed to be a big one. I don't know so much about the guns. My sons know a lot. But I said, I know it's big. What would...
Again, this doesn't even qualify as fucking weave. This is just gibberish. And I don't know what people are warming up to the idea of being in the ballroom because of what happened last time. I'm really trying to put this together. I'm really trying to figure out where the fuck he was going with this. Also, how are the walls, I guess?
What happened? They go up, meaning it can take more. I said, so if I'm making a speech and I hear that pinging sound at a window, what would I do? Sir, leave the room right away, but you're going to be safe. We're building something that's going to be amazing. And in light of what...
God damn. He's just telling... this. Somebody tell Maggie Haberman and Jonathan, what's his name, Swan, to take a break. Because, he's just telling you the conversations that happen inside the White House. And this is, by the way, this verifies that what they reported in terms of the internal conversations is absolutely true. He's just repeating what he said in there. What happens? Are you sure? I mean, the glass is thick, but what happens? What if somebody shoots it? Then what do I do? It will leave the room or whatever, but you're not going to get shot. Okay, you sure?
We went through, I think people understand it. It's going to be amazing. A phenomenal, one of the biggest drone ports anywhere in the world, right on the roof, right protecting the White House, not only the ballroom. And what's underneath, you know, is supposed to be a top military secret, what's underneath, but then you get sued as usual, and you have to reveal that you're building this unbelievable situation downstairs.
No, you don't.
With room after room of very complex stuff. It was the military's dream to have it built. I wanted to have a ballroom.
They wanted to build it for 150 years, and I just got it right.
For 150 years, they wanted it. And then the generals came to see me, and they said, sir, you're building something. This gives us an opportunity.
Everybody is like white knuckling. This is like, you know what this looks like? This looks like when you're in an audience and David Lee Roth is about to go on stage. And bless his heart, you're like, come on, be good, Dave, tonight. Right. And you're like, if he does great, you're like, oh, God.
Opportunity to do something that will be so unbelievable, never happen again. Because there's very little built under the White House, very hard to build under a very fragile building like that. It's very fragile. It's old and a little different construction standards, frankly.
Yeah, that's why you couldn't take the fucking Qatari plane home, dum-dum.
And this is an opportunity for us to build something very powerful. I said, let's keep it secret. They said, no, we're telling you, sir, let's keep it secret. And then we get sued and we revealed every room,
No, they didn't. They did not reveal all the military stuff underneath it. There's going to be a little hospital room because obviously the one that they have there, he's too big for it most of the time because he spends a lot of time in it. So they're building like a suite, a medical suite, because they're like, oh shit, if somebody's as old as you are, we might actually need more room in here. And they didn't give it all away. They didn't say all of it.
We told the people that did this, and they're not good people. We told them, we said, you know, you're being very unpatriotic when you bring a suit like this, but it is what it is. But it's really going, it's moving fast. We're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget. And it's going to be something like, I think, no.
Also, no, they're not right on budget and they're not ahead of schedule. That's just dumb.
No country has. I just visited China. They have this magnificent room, the Great Room. They call it the Great Room. It's a great room, but what we have is...
Is it a great room, though?
Going to blow. There won't be anything like it. It's going to be fantastic. And with all of the things that are going along with it for safety and security of future presidents, you know, I'm only going to be using it for about 6 months, assuming we finish it right on time. I get to use it. Somebody said, he's building it for himself. I'm building it for the future. I'm not building. I use it. Now, had I not gone down 6 or 7 stories, then in that case, I would have been able to get a couple of years out of it. But that was far more complex what we did downstairs than what we do upstairs. So we're very proud of it, though. It's going to be amazing. And I think I was just telling...
If he didn't do the part that the military wanted, that he's talking about, that is the only thing that justifies the existence of it legally, that they're using... It would have been done quicker because it would have been just a ballroom to replace the First Lady's quarters.
The whole group sitting at the table we were talking about, and I said, I think, you know, it's White House correspondence, so I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to use that. It's going to be very large and very beautiful and very safe, and that's what you need.
No, asshole. The White House correspondents are the people who cover the White House. They're the correspondents that go to the White House. They're not elected. They're not public figures or they're not public servants. They're public figures. No. They're not going to get, there's not like an entry just for reporters who are, the White House Correspondents Association is a private organization. Jesus. Oh, we got 50 subs. Oh my goodness. What a lovely thing. Thank you, Peter. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
So I was thrilled to see that after witnessing the attack, even Democrat Senator John Fetterman told his fellow Democrats to drop the Trump derangement syndrome and build the White House ballroom. But it's much more than that. It's something that you're going to use. I predict that you're going to end up using it, and a lot of people.
Okay, no, they're not. And again, opportunity for a joke just on how Fetterman dresses. This is a softball. You can't go, even Democratic Senator, Fetterman said, drop the TDS and allow him to build the ballroom. Of course, the way he dresses, I'll never let him set one foot in the place. Come on, dude. Would it hurt you to wear some slacks? Maybe you can get one of those hoodies with the tie printed on the outside. See what I mean? Just like, this is, I know I'm griping about the wrong thing. I know. As a comedian, I'm just, it annoys me.
End up using it. They're going to be as safe as you can possibly be. But despite everything that happened.
Is that guy taking his dentures out?
At the previous dinner and all of the dangers involved, I'm told that this is still the hottest ticket in town. This ticket to get in tonight, because it's a smaller room, it's a beautiful room, it's a luxury room. See those beautiful chandeliers? I can tell you everything about them if you'd like to know. See that beautiful Capitol above? See the beautiful Capitol? See everything, the brass?
Yeah, that's why he didn't build this place. He picked fixtures. Also, it's not the hottest ticket. Look at the spacing between the tables. I'm dead serious. Look at the spacing between the tables. Now, granted, they might ease the aisleage around there for security reasons, but at the other room, they were closer together. Chairs are right up against each other. If you ever seen an award show or been to an award show, I have. They're often, smushed right up against each other. It's not the hottest ticket in town. And also, part of the reason it's the hottest ticket in town is because the Kennedy Center has stopped having shows. Can't imagine why.
Those chandeliers are great. I'm looking at them, saying, I wonder if I could, I sold this building. And they're doing a nice job, but they're nice people. But I'll tell you, I'm looking at them saying, I wonder if I could walk out with those chandeliers, because you can't buy them. They're very special.
No, it's called theft, dickhead.
I won't tell you the fact. I won't mention that they're Czech crystal, because I'd like to say everything's made here, but they are Czech crystal. And they are beautiful. And the Waldorf people are doing a really nice job. We're proud of them, actually, because, when I left town, I was a little angry. I was a little bit angry. I was offered a nice price. I said, I'm getting out of that place. And
that was the postal building or whatever, the Waldorf Astoria people to go. Yeah, it was a dump while he owned the place. I actually went in to that place, the old post office building, remember? And it was basically empty. And I literally went in there to the downstairs restaurant when we were in DC once, because I just wanted to look inside the place. And it was while he owned it, it was fucking lame.
I come back, and but I was very proud of this building. This building was hot. Remember the?
No, it wasn't. Saudi princes would buy entire floors, and there'd be nobody on them. It was just a way to bribe you.
Lobby floor, 82,000 feet. For those in the real estate business, 82,000 feet. That's a major floor. That thing was packed every single night.
No, it was not. Not by any stretch of the imagination, you weirdo.
It was packed, mostly Republicans, I would say, but it was packed every single night. It almost brings back memories, but...
Except he doesn't have any because his brain is turning to tapioca. It almost brings back memories. If I could remember... What was I talking about?
I left town, and I have just had nothing but good experience, and this might be the best experience of all, having all of these incredible people in this room. It's a great feeling, frankly. It's a great feeling.
What?
But tonight's event, thank you. But tonight's event is even crazier than the last time. In fact, it's so successful that I've been informed by CBS News' David Ellison, who's going to do a fantastic job. He's the owner.
Jesus Christ, just get to the joke.
The owner, he bought it, spent a lot of money, and he's going to make, I think, fantastic changes and keep some of the great stuff going. But that next year they're going to call it the Trump White House Correspondents Center. He told me that, and I like that very much. We're going to change the name of it, okay?
All right. First of all, that's a joke. Secondly, the way he tells it it doesn't seem like one because it seems like he doesn't understand it's a joke. Either if the guy really said it to him and was kidding around, or he didn't realize they put it in there. The guy didn't say it or whatever, but it was meant to be a joke at them about how much they're kissing his ass these days at CBS. And he thinks it's real. Oof.
Oh, it's going to be so hot, just like our country is hot. We are hot.
Jesus.
Hot, by the way. But to be honest, it's just about the only
Crickets.
way that they're going to ever get me back here. You're going to have to change the name of the dinner. But how's that one going? Not too good. I hope that everyone...
How's that one going? Not too good. That he meant that joke. Like he like realized that was one of the jokes. Like I don't know if they make the exclamation point yellow in the teleprompter so he can. I don't want to give him any ideas, but that might be helpful. If you're going to give him a joke, here's the idea: change the color of the font. Sorry, the typeface for all my design friends. Change the so he knows when he's saying something serious and when it's supposed to be a joke.
We got to enjoy their entire, very delicious beef tenderloins, very special beef. And I want you all to know that Bobby Kennedy, who's right here, personally ran over the cow in his car. And he cut it up and he brought it here for you to eat tonight. So it's very fresh. And Bobby also suggested an appetizer featuring his favorite cut of male raccoon roadkill. But we drew the line at that, Cheryl. We said, no, we're not going to do that.
Male raccoon roadkill? I mean, if you're going to put words in the teleprompter, why wouldn't you just go an appetizer of raccoon roadkill or roadkill raccoon, which actually works better. But I said pass the McDonald's, right? Like why am I helping?
Doing that. We love Bobby. I tell you, it is a piece of work. You think it is fun, but he is a very different kind of a person, I will tell you.
That's not funny. He's not joking. He thinks Kennedy is fucking weird. And there's no joke there.
But he has what it takes, and he's smart, and he loves the country, and he wants people to be made to feel good. You agree with?
He wants people to be made to feel good. What is he? Is he giving out handies in the bathroom? What are you talking about?
That, Bobby, he wants people to feel good. And he's doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. We can joke all we want, but thank you.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I've seen you try to joke tonight, and you cannot joke all you want. Absolutely not. I don't know what the limit is on your ability to joke, but apparently we went past that in 2017, and we're never going back. Hold on. Why is this? Oh, there it is.
Since the time we were all together, last month we hosted one of the most incredible sporting events in world history at the White House, the UFC Freedom 250 fight, the UFC fight. When I announced that we're going to build a boxing ring right outside of the front door of the White House, that took a lot of heat. But It turned out that was, they say, about the most viewed fight.
Okay, first of all, not a boxing ring because UFC isn't boxing. Let's see what they say. What do they say?
That took a lot of heat. But it turned out that was, they say, about the most viewed fight in history.
No, it wasn't. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. Well, let's not even get into like when we were kings and the fucking Rumble in the Jungle and all those other kind of things. This didn't even chart with like Conor McGregor's last fight before he broke his leg.
Beautiful. So many things happened. It was supposed to rain. We're going to do it the week before, and the weather was beautiful. And the weather came and it went, and now we came up to Wednesdays. They said, sir, this was on a Sunday night, replacing 60 Minutes, which is nice and unusual because usually it's Saturday night. And they said, sir, this was from Wednesday on. Tell me about weather, right? Sir, it's going to rain. I think you're going to have to. It's going to be one of the worst storms that we've seen in a long time. It's coming up the coast. It's going to hit you on Sunday night. It's going to be a disaster. I'm saying, can you believe? And you saw the ring we built, Dana White, the great Dana White, and everything. We had the best fighters in the world.
Also, again, just nah.
Turned out we had the best fights that most people have ever seen, including me. It was just a miracle. But what happened is we're waiting for this rain to come all day long, and it's coming, and it's horrible. And it's 8 o'clock, and we say, I think it hasn't rained yet. I said, maybe we should postpone it an hour. Maybe we should make it the next day. We didn't know what to do. And finally, we just said, let's just have it. And it never rained. It was perfect. In fact, the week before, it was 92 degrees. It was nice, but this was like 72 degrees. And the rain was coming, and it came right over the White House. And it was like, thank you very much. It went like this. And other areas were drenched a few miles away. We didn't have a drop of rain. And it was absolutely one of the most incredible things anybody's ever seen. People said it's one of the most incredible nights of their lives. So,
yes, these are very sad people with hollow, empty lives, devoid of friends, pets, perhaps even human memories. Are these people replicants by any chance?
Remember, before I came along, if you wanted to see someone lose consciousness on the South Lawn of the White House, all you had to do is ask Joe Biden a question. Remember that? Oh, you think I'm kidding?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a joke.
But the big fight was such an amazing success at tonight.
Like, he's so busy bragging about this dipshit fight that he can't even land his pedestrian Joe Biden is old joke.
And I'm pleased to announce that we're going to host an even bigger one right in front of the White House every Friday night.
Okay, this is the big joke part. So he's selling this one. You can tell by his tortured delivery. And I just wanted really, you guys aren't gonna like this one. Here it comes.
Saturday night, we're going to have fights in front of the White House. But we do have something coming and I'm only kidding. You know, the one thing about...
Oh, shit. That was it. That was the whole thing. We're going to have fights in front of the White House every Friday.
Pleased to announce that we're going to host an even bigger one right in front of the White House every Friday night, every Saturday night. We're going to have fights in front of the White House.
An even bigger one, and the joke is about he's going to do it every Friday night. This is, I don't know what to tell you. This is the best Gutfeld can come up with.
Something coming and I'm only kidding. You know, the one thing about the press that I learned, don't be sarcastic.
That's not sarcastic. That's just joking, in theory. Poorly, but that's what it's supposed to be. That's not sarcasm, you fuck. I honest to God he does not know what the word sarcasm means.
And I get sarcastic, and most people know that, but you have some bad people that will write it exactly like I say it. And I said I was only kidding. But we are going to have Indy 500. Roger Penske's coming in mid-August, and they're going to have it all throughout Washington, the greatest cars, the greatest drivers in the world.
Well, that aren't F1, obviously.
And that's going to be something. Already they have over 350,000 people signed up.
You're helping IndyCar promote themselves. Like America's NASCAR, the world is F1. Those are the two biggies. Indy is somewhere wedged in the middle, and you're friends with the owner, so you're going to help him promote it by having him tear up the asphalt in D.C. for a week.
Pennsylvania Avenue, round the Capitol. And Roger, who's incredible, he won the Indianapolis 500 20 times. Think of it. Germany, Japan, all these countries, they spend billions and billions of dollars trying to win the Indy 500. And Roger wins it. He literally won it 20 times. On the 18th time, I said, you know, that's amazing. I'm going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And I had him up. And then he won it 2 times after that. The guy's amazing. And he lost the last one by about 6 inches, if anybody watched it. So they're coming here, and it's going to be something.
If anybody watched it.
Really exciting. We have unbelievable events.
Hold on, real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hold on. Trying to see if I can, yeah, find a picture of it. And they're the greatest. Hold on, I need a picture of this. This is annoying me. And Penske. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's his. I want to say it's his team that won 2 more times. Now, obviously, he wasn't driving. That's the weird part. Yeah, he hasn't driven in quite a while.
It's an unbelievable country. And on July 4th, we were over at the mall, and it was raining. It was supposed to be really bad again.
I wanted to be with you alone and talk about the weather.
And we had 450,000 people show up, and that's a light number. And I was told, sir, we're going to have to cancel the event. This was not good.
Hold on. How many people does he say showed up at this shit? At his speech?
And we had 450,000 people
No, you did not.
show up, and that's a light number.
Yeah, it's a light number. It's bullshit.
And I was told, sir, we're going to have to cancel the event. This was not good. And it was drizzling a little bit, not raining very hard. And people are calling me, friends of mine were calling me. And I got a call from Brett Baer. Brett Baer said, it's not raining. I said, where are you? I'm standing at the mall, and I'm waiting to go in the White House. Then others called up. They said the same thing. And I said, this is terrible. But there was lightning. Not big lightning, but you don't have to have big lightning. It takes just a little bit to do some.
What is this? First of all, let's just stop for a second. Hold on for a second. Yeah, no countries sponsor Indy cars exactly. Like that part's just silly. Like that's what I was looking up. I'm like, Penske hasn't raced. It's his team wins because he owns the fucking. Like this is just dumb. Anyways, this isn't even. This is just him rambling, telling stories. Like, I'm sure there's got to be reporters writing this down, going, oh, okay, so he's close to Penske, and basically he's doing this as a bailout for IndyCar. Okay, great.
So they said everybody must leave. 450,000 people were forced to leave, and they left. And then I said to my...
The amount of ennui that is cascading across this audience here is just brutal. Why is that not playing? There you go. Oh, quit it. Why is that Farrago thing, man? It just becomes a dick for some reason. I don't quite know why. Delete. I have to load it every time, brand new. It's annoying. I'm having so much fun, too. That's the problem. Hit the like, share the show, etc., etc. There we go. There you go. Now we can hear this guy. I hope. There you go. How did I end up here? Why? What's going on? Why is it so hard? How did my life bring with us the one day a year, a decade that I get to wear a tuxedo and I'm listening to this bullshit ramble?
I said, let me call up and find out what the hell's going on. And I called up and I spoke to a brilliant young man. He said, don't worry about it, sir. We can do it in a couple of weeks. I said, you can't do it in a couple of weeks. This is the 250th birthday. In 2 weeks, what are we going to do? Say, let's go? We're going to have a redo? No. I said, I'll speak if I have to speak at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I don't care. Call them all back. They're all gone.
Hey, asshole. Come here. You want to learn a funny little secret? If you talk at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's no longer the 4th. Fuck me. What? What are you going to do? Come back in 2 weeks? It's over by then. It's over by midnight, you moron. Yeah. 3 a.m.'s the 5th, stupid.
150.
Jesus Christ.
50,000, and most of them were in cars or heading back to Texas, and it was sad.
It was sad, but it was because you think they were already driving back. Sorry, they didn't get a hotel for the night? Even though the address was supposed to be at 9 o'clock? What are you talking about? They just started, fuck this, I'm going back to Texas. This is bullshit.
We said the show must go on. Very much like here, we said the same term, right? The show, it's a great term. It's true in life.
Phrase. It's a phrase. The term is usually a single word or a hyphen in it or, maybe two, but it's a phrase. It's a common phrase.
The show must go on. And I said, the show must go on. I put it out on Truth. The show must go on. And we had probably, Peter, 150,000 people come back up higher. Maybe, thank you. Let's stand up, Peter. Tell them. More, right? It might have been more, but it was
not more.
Amazing. It was just an amazing crowd. And actually worked out better, a little like this. It worked out better than if we had done it at the normal 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock time. It was incredible.
No, that's fucking nuts. That's stupid. If you're trying to tell me there were 450,000 people there at 7 o'clock and it was better without 300,000 of them? What are you talking about? What is that? Why? Because you got to have a nap between then and the next thing? This was one of the times in the middle of the night when you wake up and rage tweet so you were more awake than you were just after sundown?
Well, we started speaking at 11 o'clock in the evening, but tremendous numbers of people, thousands and thousands came roaring back, and it was a great evening, and it was a celebration. And we didn't do it the following day, and we didn't do it 2 weeks later. We did it when we were supposed to do it. It was a
good. Congratulations for doing it when you're supposed to do it.
Fantastic celebration. But I can exclusively reveal.
Sorry, how do you say exclusively? Is
fantastic celebration. But I can exclusively reveal to you this evening that for the heaviest of the heavyweights, we will have sloppy Chris Christie, one of the sloppiest human beings you'll ever meet, fighting, I would say, I could mention the...
Oh, he's still on we're going to have big fights every Friday night, and the next one's going to be even bigger, and in between that, and I guess this is the punchline, was this bullshit ramble about rain and going on at 11 o'clock.
Chicago, but I'm going to mention instead Jerry Nadler. And they're fighting for a big piece of cheesecake, big fat piece of cheesecake. Who the hell wrote that line?
Who gives a shit? You said it. That's how this works. Your people. Democrats didn't hijack your fucking teleprompter, dummy. If they did, it'd be funny.
And then you have a Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC plus 3. That's her 3 friends, right? AOC plus 3, and I watched her give that answer when she was over in Europe. It was not a good answer. If I ever gave that answer, I would be out of politics. Remember, you cannot have a 19-second wait time to answer really a very quite simple question. But we'll then have a rematch against an...
Oh, man, that little drift. He's really got a rapist wit.
Extreme simple question on a foreign policy from Munich Security Conference. It was a big security conference, and this was the first time
It was in Munich, was it?
up in terms of that. And we had a sort of little preview, and then Anderson Cooper was going to fight Lawrence O'Donnell. Not
Sorry, AOC was going to fight Anderson Cooper? Or who was she up against? She was going to fight the Munich Security Conference? What the fuck? I don't even know. Like, he just blitzed it. They just rolled. They had to have rolled right past whoever. Because the premise of this, so far as I could tell, Christie and Jerry Nadler were going to fight because they're fat. They're going to fight over a piece of cheesecake. And then AOC was going to fight somebody over fucking Marxist yabba yabba communism. And then Anderson Cooper fight somebody else, gay joke or something.
a fan of Lawrence O'Donnell. I like Anderson.
Oh, he's going to fight Lawrence O'Donnell.
Actually, because he's covered me well for many years. Then he went bad as soon as I went for politics. But for years, he loved interviewing. I did so many interviews with him.
Finish the joke, you dipshit.
And he was great.
What are you talking about?
But, you know, he's got a little different persuasion than me in many ways, actually.
I think that's a gay reference. That's him shoehorning a gay thing in there.
And Lawrence O'Donnell never liked him.
Yeah, everybody's like, is he insinuating that an openly gay man is gay? Or is he just going to come out of the closet himself?
Talent, but he's still making a living, so I can't knock it. But we had a contest for who had the lowest ratings and the lowest IQ on television, and that was actually Don Lemon, I think. You know, when I said that he's the dumbest man on television, I said, you know, when you say some things, you never make a comeback. It's not like, oh, gee, hey, Don, let's have dinner some night. But I know what I'm saying.
Well, that makes one of you. What the hell? I know what I'm saying?
Don, let's have dinner some night. But I know what I'm saying. And then you have Bette Midler and
Sorry, do you?
Jane Fonda actually held a concert to protest the first UFC fight. They didn't want to see the fight. And very few people want. They held a...
Oh, shit. Just say the joke. Just say the punchline.
An event. Like 3 people showed up. And given the choice between seeing some of the really beat up faces of the UFC, almost everyone chose the people in the UFC. It was between the 2 of them or the UFC.
Oh, I see. So the idea is that their faces are beat up. Is that where you were going? Oh, my God. Like, he doesn't even understand the joke as he's telling it. Oh, my. Hey, maggots. Come get your boy. Remember how Joe Rogan said that he loves Trump because of how funny he is? He's just hilarious. This guy, that's the difference between him and everybody else.
And what about Bruce Springsteen? What the hell happened to that guy?
Storied career as one of America's greatest singer-songwriters. Puts on such a great show at the E Street Band that literally Michael Jackson watched it and was like, I want something that's as exciting as that. And he had to do Thriller to make it happen. I mean, no idea.
He looks like hell. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not supposed to say. I'm sure he doesn't like the way I look, but I don't look so bad.
Yeah, you do. You look like hammered shit. And he looks like a lot of people in America who fucking work for a living.
Bruce, all he did was talk politics.
Sorry, did he have a concert or he was blowing into a conch shell?
So bad. But at a recent concert, Bruce...
A concert? Have you ever been to a Bruce Springsteen concert? I'd love to go to one day.
All he did was talk politics. He ought to run for office. That'd be interesting. But all he talked about, he made 4 political speeches in his 3-hour show. The tour has been renamed Bored in the USA. And his new song was so bad that Chris Christie, who's like a fan You know, he goes out and tells everybody how he hates Chris Christie. Keep that guy out of my... And I see Chris Christie there again, high-fiving Bruce Springsteen in the aisle. And Bruce Springsteen saw him and didn't even lift his hand up.
What kind of pathetic Mean Girl 8th grade bullshit is this?
And I just wanted, because I used to...
He just did... You do... Yes, you do realize you just mentioned that Bruce Springsteen does 3-hour concerts.
To be friendly with Chris. Chris, when somebody doesn't like you, write them off, forget it. You got billions of people in the world. You don't have to make a jerk out of yourself. But usually a comedian hosts this dinner, and I think we sort of changed it. Tonight we're going to have somebody who I think is really spectacular, but I've watched comedians get up for the dinner, because I have been here actually quite a few times, people don't realize. And
yeah, they realize.
There's one time in particular when Barack Hussein Obama hosted it. Do you know who that is?
He also didn't host it. He was the president.
And he hit me hard, but actually he hit me with respect. I was sitting with Melania at a table, and you had Brooklyn Decker, supermodel, at a table right next to her. And I really always will like her. She's married to a great tennis player, Andy. And she was at the table, not at my table. And I have watched this clip thousands of times. They keep playing it because they think that was the evening I decided to run for president. It was not. In fact, I loved the evening. I looked at my wife. I said, can you believe it? All these people, that's all they're doing is talking about me. I love this dinner. It's true. And Obama was nice. It's amazing how things work out. He actually showed a picture of the White House with a big Trump on top. Like I put a sign. And I'm sort of doing that when you think about it, right?
Yes, right. It was a warning.
Right? I mean, he wasn't really wrong. But no, he was respectful. He was good. But it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do. I just decided that I wanted to make America great again. This had nothing to do with that
What about the supermodel and the fucking tennis player, you dickhead?
dinner. I've gotten so many. Yeah, I've gotten so many.
That's, you hear that applause? That is exactly the number of people he brought with him.
Calls, and for years they've been saying, was that the moment you decided to run? Really, no. I left that night, and the press was there. A lot of the same people that I see, they said, did you have a good time? Unbelievable. And some thought I didn't have, but I did have. And I always remember, though, Brooklyn.
By the way, this is there was some setup to a joke at the beginning of this. There's in theory, a punchline waiting to be botched at the end of this shit bow.
Angry. She was much angrier than me. She was angry. She thought they were mocking me. And they really weren't. It was just...
Yeah, they were.
One of those things. And
it was not one of those things. What it was one of those times when they mocked you.
A great time. But I left, and I sort of thought, I was there 3 or 4 times before that, but I sort of thought, wow, that dinner is really something special.
Wow. President Carl Pilkington.
And then I ran. I got elected. I thought the press treated me very, very unfairly. And I don't know. I think I made the right decision because...
Oh, my God. What is this, therapy? Jesus Christ, man.
You hate to go where maybe you're not wanted, but they did want me.
Yeah, your problem is that's everywhere, so...
wanted me for ratings, and they wanted me for other reasons, but not for love. And I said, I'm not going to go. First time that ever happened, I think. Was that the first time? Just about. Presidents always came. And I didn't go for 4 years because I got treated terribly by the press.
Yeah, because you're a wuss.
In my opinion, unfairly. I know unfairly because I know the facts, but I got treated unfairly. I didn't go. And this year I was called by your president and your chairman and all of the people, and they said, we'd like to do it. And I say, you know what? With time goes by, time passes, and you sort of look at life a little bit differently. I said, let's do it. And
oh, you mean this might be your last chance?
I didn't know it was going to turn out the way it did. It turned out to be the biggest event in the history of your day. That was by far the biggest, right? For all...
Yeah, that's not a ratings thing, asshole. That's not a good thing.
All the wrong reasons. But as I said before, a lot was learned from that evening. So much having to do with so many different things, including security. but it's an honor to do it. This is my first. I mean, I've been to it numerous times, but as president, I haven't been here.
Yeah, we know, and we're starting to understand that that was a good thing. That perhaps people shouldn't have emphasized that why you're missing it every time, because this is fucking awful.
And I'm glad. And they said, would you do it next year? I said, I will be back next year. Now, if you get
Oh shit! It feels like it's next year already.
really, really nasty, maybe not. I don't know. But we're going to be back next year. And
yeah, his date will be Mitch McConnell.
well, Jackie will treat me very bad.
She's selfieing.
But this year, the association decided not to have a comedian, so they considered.
Because that's what it took to get you to come. That's why he's there. Are you going to have a comedian come up and roast me? Yes, I'm not coming. This year we decided not to have a comedian tell jokes about the president and the correspondents that are there. Okay, I'll be there. All they had to do was hire a fucking juggler.
Jimmy Kimmel,
which is what they're going to do next.
Jimmy Fallon, these guys, they're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, you should have your own show. You should host your own show. This is great.
Stephen Colbert, these are people without talent. They get a
Not this kind of talent,
lot.
anyway.
They have talent. You know who has talent? Their agent, getting them the money they get. They have no talent. But they are not comedians. They're not funny people. They're angry people. They're sick people. But the association really put on a big show, and they have somebody very special. I look forward to seeing him. And so they thought about going with a professional clown for entertainment.
Okay, I think this is a joke that's in the teleprompter. We'll see. You can tell by him trying desperately to read the words.
But Adam Shifty Schiff was not available. You know, he's known. I called him.
Oh, fuck. Professional clown? Like, there's so many other targets for that one, you asshole.
Hate some people. You know, I shouldn't say this. I'm not supposed to hate. I'm supposed to love everybody. But he's a terrible person. He's a liar. And I called him Watermelon Head because he has the largest head I've ever seen with the smallest neck, pencil neck. How does that big, fat, ugly head stand on a...
Everybody's just on their phone like, can you believe this complete asshole?
Little pencil neck.
Yes, we understand what pencil neck means.
And then I'm...
Listen to that run right there.
On a little pencil neck.
You just can't get the word neck out, I guess.
And then I'm told that even Rosie O'Donnell reached out from Ireland. She really wanted to be here in order to honor me. She loves me very much, and she was desperate to come back to the United States and pay her respect to Donald J. Trump. But that didn't work out, unfortunately, because nobody wanted her to come back. But she's one of the greatest sufferers of Trump derangements. And
oh shit, that was the punchline on the Rosie O'Donnell chunk.
She's a sick young woman, sick older woman, I guess now I have to say. So instead, we're honored to have, for entertainment, the very talented mentalist, Oz Perlman. And
the irony of having a mentalist at a Trump event. I find nothing.
Everybody, they said, are you going to stay? I said, yeah, I'll stay. I mean, I think I'll stay. What the hell else am I going to do? I've got Iran, I've got this, I've got that, which is all going extremely well. Don't believe the fake news. You know, it's the only thing we were talking before, I said.
We were talking before? Who?
So we've hit Iran very hard. Their Navy is gone. They're off.
Gibberish.
Air Force is gone. 250 jets, no longer. 159 boats, good boats. In fact, I said, why the hell didn't we keep them? We could have used them. But
because we're not pirates?
159, but all at the bottom of the sea. They have no radar. They have very few drones left, despite what you see. And every once in a while, they're going to set some things up, but they don't have much left. And by the way, they are talking to us right now. They'd love to make a deal.
gibberish.
I don't think they're ready to. I don't think it's time yet, but I'm willing to listen. But they cannot have a nuclear weapon. We don't want to see Washington, D.C., or any of our cities, or Israel, or frankly, the Middle East, destroyed with a nuclear weapon, because I know the power of nuclear weapons. I see it. I get to see it. We're not going to let that happen.
What do you mean you get to see it? We're not testing right now. What do you mean? You see the same films we saw.
And so this is all about, we will not let them have a nuclear weapon. And they would use it. They would use it if they had it. But Oz, I do have one question about what happened that time, because he was there. How the hell did you not see that coming? He sees everything. He sees everything. He's telling me about your grandmother and your this.
He's not a psychic, shithead. That's not what a mentalist is.
And we got to ask him that question when he gets up here. Why didn't he see that coming? But of course, this evening.
Oh, God. He fucking thinks a mentalist is a psychic. I would say we've hit rock bottom stupid already, but.
All about the fake news media and your handling of prizes, and writing and producing and performing made up stories like the Academy Awards. Academy Awards used to be the epitome of ratings. Outside of the Super Bowl, it got the second most ratings. Now it's down in the dumps. Nobody wants to watch it anymore because they took on Trump. They hit me all night long. They hit me. The winner is so-and-so. I want to talk about Donald Trump. I hate this man. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. Right, Peter? Nobody wants to hear it. You ever see the ratings? They used to have 48 million people.
Is he just having little conversations with Peter Ducey?
Now they have 2 people watching. But they'll learn their lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins.
Oh, fuck. You guys have seen this one.
On receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake. But I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's...
Yes, this is a lot of... It's not fake at all. That's aggravating and stupid, but it gets worse.
A young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you ever smile?
Do you have any idea what you smell like, sir? Why the fuck would I smile? It's bad enough. It's bad enough the smell gets in my nose. I don't want it on my teeth too.
Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship. But then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So there's this idea, I guess, the concept behind this joke seems to be that Caitlin Collins looks like Dylan Mulvaney, who is a trans woman, and therefore Caitlin Collins looks like a man. And that's him insulting her, that she looks like a man right after he called her attractive, which is all kinds of fucked up. And then he can't even let that sit for the shitty, bigoted punchline that it is. And he has to jump into, I think it's like he didn't really know Dylan Mulvaney's name. It's been so long since that passed. And so it's whoever wrote this up. It's a bunch of like bigoted dickheads in his office. So he's not convinced everybody else will know who she is. So he's got to make fun of Dylan Mulvaney and then go explain why he's making fun of her.
$1 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way, for those few people that want to hear that. Most people don't care, but I would.
Yes, we don't care.
I wouldn't want to hire Dylan anytime soon. Think of it. They hired Dylan Mulvaney, and their market cap has gone down by $35 billion. Who wrote that commercial? And then you have writer Josh Dorsey.
Yeah, that nut was rock solid there. Going after Caitlin Collins, telling her to smile, comparing her to Dylan Mulvaney right after you called her attractive. Paging Dr. Freud.
receive. He's been killing me for years. No, and yet tonight he shakes.
Killing me softly with his articles. Killing me softly with his articles. I call it fake news, but it's true.
He hugs me, everything nice. He kills
He also did not hug me.
me. Josh is amazing. He writes more stories than any human being. There's nobody that writes more than Josh. He'll write 4 stories about me a day, all different subjects.
Okay, 4 stories. Okay, this setup. Hold on one second. The premise of this, he writes all the time, and he's like, well, you'll see. He says like he's on the front page, and then he's got another one on the third page, and all that kind of stuff. And then listen how he finishes up describing him.
I mean, I had the other day 3 stories, and one on the. He was upset about this. 1 was on page 7, 3 were on page 1. They were all written by Josh.
So he had 3 page 1 stories.
But he's hit the big time, and he's a workhorse, and yet he's almost unhirable. You know, he's just one of these guys. Wall Street Journal's lucky to have him.
He's almost unhirable? What are you talking about? You just told me he's got 3 stories on the front page. What, for fuck's sake? What is that?
You really, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable you're saying these words. This is fucking dumb. You can't talk about it. The guy's a workhorse. He's got 3 stories on the front page, and he's unhirable. There had to have been another joke. I just have to believe there was some other joke in there that he just blitzed by, right? There had to be.
It's unhirable. CNN is also here.
And that's it. That's it. The guy is on the Wall Street Journal. He's got 3 pages on the front, 3 stories on the front page, 1 on the 7th. And the idea is that he was mad because one of the 4 stories he did that day, only 3 were on the front page. I think there was some semblance of a joke there that was supposed to be told in another way. Because he's a workhorse, and he wrote 4 stories about me, all about different subjects, and he was mad because one of them was on, there were 3 of them on page 1, and the other one was on page 7. He was pissed about that or something. But I don't know what the unhirable thing is at all. I don't know where that went, and then he just abandoned ship.
I'm very disappointed they didn't bring Fake Tapper because he's had a rough couple of years, Fake has. You know, he calls me up every once in a while. If I pick it up, pick up my phone. I used to go to this young lady. I'd say, any calls from the press? No, sir. I said, oh, now I'm the president of the United States, right? I'd say to Stephen Chung, is Stephen here someplace? Where's Stephen?
Of course he's there.
He's one of the toughest human beings I've ever met. Don't ever wrestle Stephen. You'll be in big trouble.
What the fuck does that mean?
But I say, Stephen.
He means it because he's fat. That's him talking about how big Stephen Chung is.
Let me ask you, did the press call? No, sir. You know, when I was a developer, I'd get a call every half an hour. For whatever reason, I always got disproportionate press. So I said,
because you pretended to be your own fake PR person?
Stephen, nobody called? No, sir. 2 hours later.
Holy shit, wait. He's been talking to like Peter Doocy all night. Stephen Chung is sitting right next to him, behind RFK, who he already mentioned, and he's like, is Stephen Chung here?
Are we doing everything good? Anybody call? No, sir, no press calls. I said, I'm president. Nope, they never call. So this went on for about a week. I'd say, Caroline, did the press call? No, sir, no calls. I said, nothing. It's over a week. I haven't received a call. So I said, you know what I'll do? I'm going to give the press my phone number. That was the stupidest thing I ever did. I'm getting a call every 3.7 minutes. Stephen, I don't know where the hell you've been, but the press calls, I'm getting calls, ring, ring. I was with somebody today. They said, I've never heard a phone ring as much as it's fresh. Now, I look at the thing and usually just delete, delete, delete. Every once in a while, it'll be one of the people in this room that I like, and I'll pick it up. Like this one right here calls me on occasion, right? She'll call me and she says, hello, sir. How are you? We want to talk about some horrible subject, like a horrible, depressing subject. I say, Jackie, I don't want to talk about it. Congratulations, however, on your new marriage. but I don't want to talk about it. But it's true. And people call me now. And so for weeks I go, no calls. And I learned then that both of them, they feel that I'm doing a great job and they feel I'm above it all. And that no person.
Hold on. Who are you talking about? Stephen Chung and Caroline Levitt think this?
Hundreds of people call no person is good enough to talk to Trump. And so we don't even bother telling you. That's not the way it works, Caroline. You have to let me know because sometimes I do like to speak to the press.
Oh my God. There was some semblance of a story in there that he didn't get to this whole thing like, no, they're not good enough to talk to you directly, or did they call to speak to me directly? Like, that's not how it works, and it shouldn't be how it works. And you gave them your number before just telling her if they call or reach out to them because I don't mind talking to them and let them know, and then they'll call you guys and we'll set it up.
I have the best system I've ever had. It rings, and just so you understand, you're much better at putting your name. Because if there's no name, I just can't do that. You know, I pick up every once in a while. Hello, I'm from Reno, Nevada. We're a startup paper. We're calling us the Reno Express. I said, do you believe I'm the president of the United States? Mr. President, could I have your views on Iran? And I just hang up. No, I get that.
Right. Hold on. You're going to, in front of a bunch of like big newspapers and the people that cover you in tuxedos and evening gowns, you're going to shit on a local paper for asking you a legit question? Good God. Who wants to talk to some shitty little paper?
Calls. I mean, some of them, my wife said, I can't believe you do this. This is a hell of a way to live. But sometimes they get calls from very important. Sometimes I can straighten out stories that are going to be fake, and I can make them from a fake story to a good story. I always find that when you don't
fuck me,
speak to the press, you always get a bad story. When you do speak to the press, you have a shot at getting a good story. Oh, look. No, look, if I were a reporter, and let's say I'm a big reporter, I work for...
Yeah, nobody... If you were a reporter, you'd get fired from the Reno Gazette.
For the failing New York Times, or I work for... Well, I don't know, do they ever come to these dinners? Didn't they cancel out a long time ago? Big mistake. They should be here. But I get a call. I've always found that, you know, speaking to them, you just do better. You do better when you can, when you have the time. You speak to the reporter. You treat the reporter.
Okay. The only positive I am taking from this section right here is that it seems like he's saying goodbye.
Sometimes now there are reporters where it doesn't matter. You can be so nice to them, it doesn't matter. You get treated unfairly. But you have a lot of great reporters where when you speak to them, you can get your point across, and that's a good thing. But some people say that...
Oh, fuck, here comes whatever the joke was before.
Jake Tapper is a great investigative reporter in D.C., and that's why after moderating our debate, it only took him 1 year to break the story that Joe Biden might possibly have suffered from cognitive decline. It took him 1 year. He wrote a book about how great he was mentally, not too good. And I don't like Biden because Biden was very unfair to a lot of people. But Jill Biden insists that Joe would have beaten me in 20...
Whoa. All right. So, together. Jake Tapper is such a good investigative reporter that it only took him a year to point out that Joe Biden had mental decline after our debate. It wasn't the debate. It was this belief that they were covering it up all along the way. And also, Jake Tapper, I'm fairly certain, is going to have to work on a book about you just from this night, much less the rest of the fucking, like, since January especially.
Even though he was way down, she said he was way behind in the polls because he was seriously ahead. She felt he was going to win because he was seriously ahead on deceased voters. He was leading in the deceased crowd, and there were a lot of them. You're finding out there's a lot of them. Look at...
Oh, asshole, it was supposed to be a joke.
The numbers that just came out yesterday.
No, there weren't a bunch of deceased voters, shithead.
And it's traditional.
Just came out yesterday. What happened yesterday?
That at least one or two potential presidential hopefuls attend the correspondence dinner, but many of them seem to have really chickened out. I was disappointed that Gavin Newsom, didn't show up. He didn't show up. He should be here. But I heard that he recently said that we will lose our country if we don't fight fire with fire. And to be fair, there's only one thing we know about Gavin, and that's that he definitely doesn't want to fight fire with water. He's got a lot of water he never uses. What a disaster. That should have never happened. But
all right, so fight fire with water was supposed to be the punchline there. Just fucking blazed right past it because he's not joking. To him, it's just needling, I guess.
Newsom recently did a career-threatening, one of the worst interviews I've ever seen. Where
all right, he hangs on this one where Gavin Newsom spoke to the fact that he has dyslexia, and he's got to memorize his speeches because he can't just read them off a teleprompter because his dyslexia is so bad. And he was made to feel stupid, and a lot of people experience that, and he understands that, and that was part of the conversation about his dyslexia. And Donald Trump thinks that having dyslexia means you're stupid, and so he thinks Gavin Newsom was saying that he's stupid and was calling people who have dyslexia that might be in the audience stupid also. Nobody else came away from this with that shit. Nobody else thought this was a slam or anything. It was personal, and it was something that a lot of presidents will share about themselves, and like close to like Biden's talk about his stutter and that kind of shit. I guess George W. Bush being afraid of cows, and again, which is, you shouldn't be allowed to wear a cowboy hat if you're afraid of cows, but that's for another time.
he can't read a speech. He's incapable of reading a speech. He's
What do you call this?
a low IQ person. He's smarter, however, than all of the people in the room, and then he gets sued for being a racist. Okay,
He got sued for being a racist. I don't know what the fuck.
when he said that, but he basically said he has various mental incapacities. He has difficulty
Basically.
in various other ailments mentally.
Oh yeah, what would those be? What would be those other various mental ailments? Are the mental ailments in the room with us right now?
And I'm looking at him saying, this is the worst interview. I'm watching this interview. I said, this is the worst interview I've ever seen given by a professional politician. I've been watching politicians for a long time, mostly on the previous side, because I haven't been doing this
Everybody's like, oh, dude, this is, and everybody else is looking down at their phone. They're literally typing whatever rando shit
too
he's saying.
long. How am I doing? Not bad for the number of minutes spent. Not bad, but with Gavin. So he said that all these things, and I said, anybody running against him, all they have to do is take that one interview, and you can't lose. I actually.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Try that. Try running on him speaking openly about his dyslexia, and see if that works. Yeah, knock yourself out. I'm sure any Republican would lovingly take that advice. They would think that's brilliant advice coming from you. You should have Barron edit it for them.
That Gavin Newsom
Yeah, this right, CSL. This must be the hilariously misunderstood Trump sarcasm.
has come out and said he will not be running for president because nobody can say what he said about himself and survive. Newsom was in big trouble when he openly admitted that Kamala was smarter than him. She said, Kamala.
She did? Oh, so Newsom is a she now.
Is smarter. If Kamala is smarter than someone, you don't want that person to be president of the United States of America. Between California's.
Wow. That was the joke there too. That was the entirety of it. Just something about him believing that Kamala Harris, probably due to her skin color, is a low IQ person. He tends to do that a lot. And that, yeah, anybody who would admit she's smarter than they are is admitting to being stupider than a low IQ person, right?
Of enabling wildfires, paying drug addicts to be homeless,
Paying drug addicts to be homeless. Just let that sit there. That's written in the teleprompter.
free sex changes to illegals and telling rich people they're going to take away, all of your money is going to be taken away. People are fleeing, and they're fleeing in droves. We can't have that in this country. It's becoming...
Sorry, why not? If people want to move from one state to another, we can't have that? What, do you need passports between the states now?
Such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. The video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring...
Sorry, she and her brother, the brother-husband thing, he throws that around a lot, are thinking of moving to California because it's so safe. I think that's a Minneapolis violence, like Minneapolis burned to the ground joke. And you're supposed to do, you guys are supposed to do all the homework on what the fuck he means for him.
World War II is World War XI. And
yes, tell us about 2 Corinthians.
they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She
Okay, this grandpa's starting to fade hard at this point.
shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number 1. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She
What do you mean reportedly? It's your Justice Department. You're trying.
revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million to 18,000. And I know Democrats, and the word Democrat is something that's
Oh, shit.
come into fashion.
No, it really hasn't. It is not caught on.
Changed the E with a U.
Oh, is that how you do it?
And most people don't know that dumb has a B, so we don't have to worry.
No, they do. Yeah. Everybody does. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
About that.
Except dumb people, which I guess would be everyone around you who are like, it has a B in it?
It's very quiet. I thought it was quite good, but I haven't gotten much credit for that. Fake news, good. Pocahontas, good.
By the way, he didn't come up with fake news.
I won't say Lion Ted because he's on my side. I don't talk about past conquests.
Ew.
But we have
Sorry, you fucked Ted Cruz?
a lot of them. I won't talk about. They got a whole table full of Republicans there. They're saying, no, don't mention my frickin' name, will you please? But we've had a lot of good names. But the Democrats are there to destroy wealth. And honestly, they've gone absolutely crazy. Gavin Newsom's not only a man who really...
Jesus Christ, man. Can you spit out a sentence in one go?
wants to run for president. He's
Oh, my God. Like, he wants to run for president.
doing a bad job running a state. You can't have somebody like a J.B. Pritzker, who I understand is not present, sadly, but, some people say, never use the fat word. And
Sorry, they do? I think they say that around you and you overhear them.
I don't. I would never call anybody fat. I have my own problems, It's not like I'm perfect. Sir, in the back, don't.
Oh, God, this is so fucking labored. This part of it is, this is when we've hit, like, peak flop sweat. This is fucking brutal. And it's, at his rally, somebody called somebody a pussy, remember that? And he was like, he called it that. No, I won't call it that. You can't call it that. He called him a pussy. So he could say it and get away with it. And so they want to rig up this, like a version of that for this. So, because everything's a fucking reboot with this dipshit.
No, it's not like I'm perfect. Sir, in the back, don't call him a fat pig, okay? I'm sticking up for him. Don't call him you. You can't do that, sir. You can't call J.B. Pritzker a fat pig. Please. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone's trying to figure out, who is that guy? Does he
No.
exist? But then
Does he exist? No, we're not. No. Even if you pointed at a real person in the crowd, they weren't thinking that. You just picked a shape that looks like a head. You probably pointed at one of the centerpieces on the table with cookies on it, you dipshit.
You do that, the press can't get you. Because I'm defending a man who obviously has a problem.
We understand why you are doing that. We understand that you're transparently grotesque.
A lot of weight. I saw him recently. He lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know what the hell. He's got no chance, believe me. Anything.
Jesus Christ. So you're fatter than he is the point you're making.
He does. The family threw him out of the business. A number of other.
And that's it. The move on. That was the big one. Was this will be hilarious. Pick somebody out of the crowd and then say, sir, you can't call him a fat pig. And then tell the press that's why they can't get on you. You didn't call him a fat pig. That person, you're defending them from that person. Put that in there and then describe what you're doing.
Democrat contender sadly refused to show up tonight. We invited Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. She's referred to Pocahontas because...
She's referred to Pocahontas? You mean she's referred to as Pocahontas by you?
In fact, I had to apologize. People came up and they said, we want you to apologize to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. And I ended up apologizing to the real Pocahontas. But Elizabeth Warren was supposedly of Indian heritage. And then she took the test and she only had one.
Yeah, I remember this joke. Like, he's been throwing this shit around for years.
1,020.
This is left over from 2020 when she was maybe going to be the nominee. Remember that?
Fourth Native American. And I said, you know what? I think I'm more of an Indian than she is. So this is what we have to deal with. But
that's a rock solid punchline. I think I'm more of an Indian than she is.
Senator Warren did not accept our invitation to debate. I wanted to debate her on various and sundry things, and she decided not to do it. And I decided to bury the hatchet. It doesn't matter. And she, well...
Okay. Bury the hatchet is an Indian joke from that like 4 people at his table liked. Get it? We should bury the hatchet.
This next one. Do you want to hear this one? How bad? She wasn't high up on her totem pole. Who the hell wrote that? No, she's bad news. I wanted to make sure that Jack Smith...
She wasn't high up on her totem pole? Again, this is where he starts bitching more about the
deranged Jack Smith. Remember, he went after me for about 2 years. How did he do? Not too good. I'm in the White
Yeah, that's because the SCOTUS interfered.
House, and he's not doing as well. I was going to say he's in a different kind of a house, but he's a deranged human being.
What do you mean, different kind of a house? He does have a house, I presume.
He's a bad prosecutor. You know, prosecutors are very important.
God. Whimsical
great prosecutor, a fair prosecutor, but that's the great prosecutors, the ones that are fair. They're very important to a country, but this guy was a deranged lunatic.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about with the deranged thing? Look, I understand he prizes himself on these nicknames or whatever, but Jack Smith is a soft-spoken human being. At all fronts. There's no, like, he's not Janine Pirroing his way through these cases. It doesn't make any sense. I don't give a fuck if that's your name for him, but I think it comes 100% from an old picture of him with a longer beard. Honest to God. He looks deranged with that beard. That's where it came from.
Saw his invitation tonight. He was invited because, you know, but I put it in a private text to Chuck Grassley. And Chuck saw him and he did a certain thing. And then one man that we had who should be here, he turned Palestinian.
Oh, fuck me. All right, so the joke there, I think, was he was invited to the dinner tonight. We put his invitation in an email to Chuck Grassley. The idea that Jack Smith spied on Congress. That was the joke. We put it in an email to Chuck Grassley. And I don't even know that he gets the joke that he just told.
Thing, and then you one man that we had who should be here. He turned Palestinian. This
Oh my God, this is the Chuck Schumer thing.
was a man who was 100% for Israel.
Israel.
100%. Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck. Remember, he cried at the airport over illegal immigrants. They were the fakest tears. There were people throwing water in his face. But now he's a proud, very proud Palestinian. In fact, I'm going to send him a beautiful Palestinian outfit tomorrow.
Outfit.
So he can greet Bibi Netanyahu when he comes to town next week, along with the mayor, who I'm sure would love to meet Bibi. They're not treating
The mayor of New York, Mamdani, I'm presuming.
Bibi too well, but Chuck wanted to join us tonight, but he didn't want to be violating many parts of the Palestinian rules, regulations, and certainly he didn't want to violate Sharia law, his new founding. And all joking aside,
Okay, that wasn't a joke at all. It was just kind of creepy and fucked up. And there's a joke in there if you're bothering to make the joke. And forgive me for this for a second. But the idea was, but having dinner with people from Fox is considered haram or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? The idea that he's now a Muslim and then you pick something from being there, you know, and I think I agree with that, whatever that. But the rules and regulation things, it was like it was rolling by and it didn't get to Sharia law yet and he didn't think it was going to happen.
I think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very...
Oh, okay. So this joke I have a theory about. Hang in there. It's the only joke in the whole thing. All joking aside.
I do think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see what's happening. The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words,
Jesus Christ. Like, that's a standard joke, right? That's not hard. That's not a difficult one to pull off. And he just buries it because he can't wait for the laugh because he's such a fucking wuss. And look at his fucking face. You get it? And then he keeps explaining it. Anyways, this joke was going to be in the first one, was going to be in the last speech, and it was about Mitch McConnell. But Mitch McConnell is in the hospital or whatever now, and he wasn't last time. He was just fucking old. But they clearly wrote this joke about Mitch McConnell. But the telling part is what he says.
Come up the stairs.
Hold on.
Today, a senator I knew got
a senator what?
I see what's happening.
Also, if you knew a senator and they're no longer a senator, why do we need term limits for this person that's no longer a senator for whatever reason?
Happening. The other day, a senator I knew got...
Yeah, so that's Mitch McConnell is dead right there. A senator I knew. For all practical purposes, he's dead. That's basically what you could take away from that. Because this was, the other day, a senator I know, and maybe I won't mention him, maybe I will, blah, 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 right? Came home, and then his wife said this, right? That's a joke about Mitch McConnell. But since Mitch McConnell is more than likely passed on or completely incapacitated, Trump just let it slip and said, a congressperson or a senator I knew. And let's be, whoops, did that go? Okay, that's good. And it certainly wasn't Lindsey Graham, because Lindsey Graham is what we call a confirmed bachelor, I think is the phrase. There we go.
I think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see what's happening. The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words, can't go up the stairs and make love.
Yeah, we get it. You just suck. I love how he thinks it's the joke's fault.
Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good.
And there it is. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump confirmed wuss. Does anybody get that? Actually, I thought it was pretty funny.
Can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good. That was actually the only thing I thought was good in this whole freaking stupid speech that they wrote. That was the only good one, and that went down with not exactly great laughter. I think
it was delivery.
No, in other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love, too.
Jesus Christ, man. We know. They know. The problem was not their ability to understand the concept. And everybody laughed when he was like this whole friggin' stupid speech. They're laughing because it's so goddamn tense.
So we're looking for term limits. Does anybody understand this stuff? But I really...
By the way, can I just say for the record, that piece right there, we need term limits. The other day, a senator I knew, wife, come home, come up the stairs and fuck me. I can't do both. That was the most understandable premise to joke part of the whole fucking thing. That was like everything else has just been all over the goddamn place. But that was a clear premise. And then they used obviously a joke out of a fucking 1950s joke book. But that was clear. It was so obvious. That's what made it so funny to the people there and so fucking awkward for the rest of us that you thought you had to explain it immediately. Why didn't you explain the other shit you were rambling about?
Whether the Democrats are trying to lose the midterms in Maine.
Isn't it Democrats?
They nominated a guy with a Nazi tattoo. But don't worry, Democrats. Word is that Plattner's replacement, he throws bottles at women. This guy throws bottles. This guy's another lunatic, by the way. Although I think Plattner might have done surprisingly well.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but like you're just defending him because he's got a Nazi tattoo.
Because we're in the age of Trump. Let's call it.
Sorry. In the age of Trump, somebody has a better shot because they have a Nazi tattoo? That's the joke he's making right there.
What you want. People can do well today. Plattner, I don't know. But, people don't have the guts to stick it out, but it looked like he was guilty of a lot of stuff. He certainly didn't defend himself very well. In Texas, the Democrats are running a candidate named James Telefrico, who hates guns, hates oil, hates sex, hates women, and who said he is, quote, a Christian who hates Christianity. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. And that means that he's not going to do very well against Ken Paxton, who hopefully in Texas is going to win. But Telefrico, he's Alfred. You know what he looks like to me? Alfred E. Newman. All
right. Again, the idea, especially somebody who looks like Jabba the Hutt, crawled up through a hole filled with, I guess, insulation, and it was all over the top of his head. The idea that he's making fun of other people's looks has always been ridiculous. But Tallarico looking like Alfred E. Newman, the Alfred E. Newman character was essentially nonplussed was the concept. He wasn't a clown. Shit would happen behind him and he'd be like, what, me worry? Like, that was the running gag. He wasn't a part of the stuff that went through. So we know what he looks like, but nobody gives a fuck.
Alfred E. Newman, Mad Magazine. I said, that guy is Alfred E. Newman.
Yes, and everybody went, who? What? Why would that be a bet? Who cares?
Can't imagine he'd win. While I have all of the press here in one place, I have to say that We're having an amazing load of accomplishments that
Load of accomplishments. I'm fairly certain he just shit himself.
the media never talks about. For example, under my administration, a once feared and powerful regime that relentlessly attacked America has finally been toppled. Their former leaders have been removed, and they're now being run by a gay dictator facing internal divisions. But I, for one, wish Barry Weiss all the best at CBS News. She's a wonderful woman. Most of
Sorry, is she the gay dictator?
the press lives here in Washington, D.C., and you should
Isn't she on your side?
be thankful for me, for what my administration and I have done to make our nation's capital, which was one of the most dangerous and unsafe cities anywhere in the world,
Both. It's called emphasis.
one of the safest cities in the United States. Crime is down 88%, and our capital is shining again with 62 monuments, statues, water fountains looking more beautiful. The graffiti's all gone. The tents are all moved out of the parks. The fences are all done. Our capital looks like it's really in good shape.
It isn't, but it looks like it.
And people coming here, people in the White House, they work in the White House, they all say, young women, young guys walk up. They say, thank you, sir. 2 years ago, we lived in a dangerous city. We lived in a city where 150 people were killed a year. And now we have almost a crime-free city. Mm-hmm. Our National Guard has done an incredible job, and we've removed over 5,000 career criminals. You know, we removed, there's one stat, I think it's a great stat.
Wall Street Journal table.
It's to me, it's fantastic.
It's that 2% of people do 90% of the crime or some shit.
2% of the people create 91% of the crime. That's something you can fix, and we fix it. We moved out over 5,000 career criminals out of Washington, D.C., and we have the greatest capital in the world. Again, it's beautiful, it's thriving, the restaurants are thriving.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up, man. It was fine. And at least the reflecting pool looked halfway decent. And again, you can clean up any place if you put soldiers on every fucking corner. That's the issue. If you limit everyone's freedom and you have checkpoints all over the place and you have armed soldiers everywhere, two of whom got attacked and killed. One got killed and the other one was during this.
You couldn't get into a restaurant because they didn't have, all the restaurants were closing.
Nonsense. The restaurants that closed were because of COVID and they opened up immediately afterwards. It's so dumb.
And if you even got in, you felt unsafe.
Why? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, you're legislating feelings now?
People were getting into Ubers and they were being attacked when they were in an Uber. It's not happening anymore. We
By who?
have tough, smart people, and they have done a fantastic job. Washington, D.C. is safe again. You can't get into a restaurant. The restaurants are opening up. They're opening up all over the city. They can't get, it's the exact opposite. They can't get space. But mostly I've given up on you and the media.
Oh, shit. Here comes maybe a joke.
So that now I just gave up on you, and I'm number one on TikTok. Did you see that I'm number one, Stephen? Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Number one on TikTok.
No. People referencing you and your account are different things. Billions of views on videos calling you a rapist or a pedophile. Epstein is higher than you because it tracks with all the videos with you, plus his own.
So how could they be so bad? 520, think of this, 425 billion views. Can you believe that, Peter? I mean, let's go, Peter. I gave up on you people. I gave up on traditional press. And it obviously worked because we did win in a landslide. I mean, somebody's got to be saying something good about me.
No, not really. Not anymore, certainly. They might have at one point, but obviously that was when China owned TikTok, dum-dum.
But TikTok, good old TikTok. And
good old TikTok.
I was able to get it sold to a group of very wealthy people, mostly.
No, you weren't.
Americans. I was told President Xi, who's a man that I get along with very well,
Oh, yeah? Has he watched that speech you did the other night where you said China tried to fuck with our elections and print fake ballots?
It was a hard no for the sale of TikTok. They all said he's a hard no. I said, well, let's call, put your group together. They put it together, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. I called up President Xi. I said, President, look, these are American people. They're wonderful people. In fact, one of them happens to own CBS, actually. I mentioned his name. I said, these are wonderful people, and it'll be a good thing. Does it mean anything, President? It's nothing. It's nothing. They love your country. We'd love to see you approve the deal. And he goes, all right. That was it. It was done. And we sold TikTok. And he's a friend of mine.
First of all, bought TikTok. They sold TikTok. Never mind that he doesn't get the syntax right. But also, there was a law passed in the United States that if it wasn't sold, it would be shut down inside the United States. And they didn't sell all of it. They just sold the controlling interest in it. So everything that you do on TikTok is still ricocheted through China.
And he's not contributing to problems like other people contribute to problems.
What?
So we get along. But we made the deal. But number one on TikTok is Trump, and that's probably why we won. But for all of the trouble that you give me
Oh, boy, here you go.
a lot of trouble, a lot of heartache. I hope all of you know that I believe in the free press more than anyone in this room does. Maybe not quite. But that's why I'm proud to be the most open and transparent president in history. They called me that. You know who
No, they
calls
don't.
me that? Caroline. That's about it. So would anybody else call me that? I think Peter would call me that.
No, he wouldn't.
Am I the most transparent? Biden never used to answer your questions. He'd ask Biden 20 questions. He'd never get an answer. Who's the most transparent president, Peter? Who? I look at him. It's the first time he's tongue-tied. I cannot believe it. Oh, he's not going to be happy tomorrow. But you people have no idea how lucky you are when I'm gone.
Yeah, that's a hard no, by the way.
You're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else.
Well, they won't have to. You know, this is you're the apartment fire of the 24-hour news cycles, but it won't be like we miss apartment fires when they no longer happen.
The other day had 5 stories about me. You know, before I got into politics, in my whole life, I had 7 front page stories. This is years of success. I think 6 were good, 1 was bad. I had 5 stories, 7, 5 good. Yeah, I had a total of 7 stories on the front page of the New York Times. That's not bad. Now I average about 3 or 4 a day, all different topics, all bad.
Yeah, because it's the presidency. It's not you, asshole.
Everything bad.
Right, because of the decisions you make and the plans you have and the things you're doing.
But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office. So I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just...
Oh, fuck. Please wrap this shit up. How far are we? Please tell me we're almost done. Yep.
how much I care about the press. And
yes, Trump is the O.J. Chase of presidencies. Yeah, he's the O.J. trial of presidencies. They're like, what the fuck happens when the O.J. trial finishes? I don't know. An entire industry of true crime shows comes out of the woodwork because they find their own shit and start talking about every possible kind of a story because they've got an infrastructure that was built around the O.J. investigation.
Save your ratings. I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a 4th term as President of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official, in fact, I think I have.
Oh, shit. This is no offense to Carrot Top, but this is the Carrot Top moment.
Yeah.
He's got a prop. It'll be hilarious, and your people will love it, and it'll be an image. It'll be all over Truth Sinkhole, and they'll love it because you're scaring the press, and they'll all take it seriously, sir.
I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the second time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting when you come
Oh, shit. You know, it's interesting.
back and you do a good job like we did, and you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape. But
Then how'd you get elected?
on a serious note, I want to say once again, I just want to thank you all. It's been an interesting evening. I didn't really know what to expect, and it's far worse than I actually thought, but if you want to know that. But I didn't know exactly what to expect, and I've made a lot of friends tonight. I've made a lot of good friends.
Yeah, by the way, let him believe that. Press people with a guy like this, their job should be to make him think they're his friend. It's the same thing that like detectives do when they're interviewing suspects. You know, you got to try good cop a lot of times first, and try to, you know, entice people into telling you more, make them want to talk to you, make them want to confide in you and stuff. And it's infuriating when some reporters seem to get around him like that and kind of stuff, but it's the only thing that works.
Probably made some enemies also, but it's been an experience that is something that we've all shared together because we're
Also, why is your hair over one ear and not the other?
all in this room tonight because most of us went through a period of trauma from just a short while ago. And, you know, some people said they wanted to come, but they were afraid to come, and you people weren't afraid to come. There were a lot of people that said, Jackie, they don't really, you know, they didn't have
Bullshit.
the courage to come.
Bullshit. Yeah, no one said they'd like to come, but they don't have the courage about themselves, for fuck's sake.
And we don't want that to happen, and I'm sure it's not going to happen. We're going to
Oh, God. It already happened if they did.
do things. Again, I want to thank our law enforcement, keeps us safe. All law enforcement. We have the greatest people on earth. You know, we had 2 years ago, we had the
Jesus.
worst record of recruitment
Hottest country in the world.
as an example, the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Space Force. I love Space Force. Look at all that shooting we're able to do from space.
What? Sorry, what? So look at all that what?
Guard, Space Force. I love Space Force. Look at all that shooting we're able to do from space.
We're not doing what? What the fuck are you talking about? We're not shooting from space. We are not doing that. We're not shooting stuff from space. The B-2 bombers are not in space. What are you talking about? Look at all that shooting we're doing from space. No. Unless he just gave away some covert weapon and admitted it like a dipshit. Literally, like this. I mean, this is sundown.
Of Space Force. Look at all that shooting we're able to do from space.
No, fuck you. No, that we're not doing all that shooting from space.
That was my baby. But all of the branches of you couldn't get people to join. This was 2 years ago. And last week, you probably saw, some of you wrote the story, we have the single best recruiting of people into our armed forces than we have ever had in the history of our country. We have...
Yeah, because you have a bigger budget and you offered signing bonuses and jobs are getting harder to get, especially entry-level jobs. So people are going from college into the military because it's a safer route. And under Biden, unemployment was so much lower. It was legitimately, for a straight stretch, people had options.
Brimming over with great people. And that's a big statement. And that also goes for the police departments where they were having a tremendous problem recruiting. You can't get into a police department now. If you're looking for a job, it's very tough. And that also includes our great fire departments because people forget about them. They're unbelievable.
Sorry, fire department recruitment was never a problem. That's not a thing. People did not have a grudge against Biden or the military or the police during that period of time. During all of George Floyd and all that shit, nobody was like, oh, and firemen too.
So I just want to thank you. Look, we're on the cusp of something big, and I call it, and this I'm being
We're on the cusp of it. Just so you know, it's not happening right now, but we're so close. We're so
very
close.
serious when I say this, that this is the golden age of America. We have
Well, the cusp of the golden age.
$19.2 trillion being spent in our country. A record was China. I think it was 10 years ago, 3 trillion. Trillion is a lot. 4 years, they went less than 1 trillion under Biden. And we have 19.2 trillion. And this is a period of
Also gibberish.
actually 13 months, not even current, because we're here a little bit longer than that.
Sorry, you've been here a little bit longer than 13 months?
But that was as of reporting dates. $19.2 trillion is being spent. Factories are coming. Toyota just announced they're going to be building the biggest car plant in the world. They're leaving Mexico. They're coming here. Tariffs
Yeah, it won't have any employees.
did that. Tariffs did that. And maybe November 5th did that too, the election. But our country is doing things that nobody's ever seen before.
Yes, war crimes, I think, mainly.
And it is true. We were, and you've heard me say this, we were a dead country
No, we were not. Fuck you.
2 years ago.
No, we weren't. America does not live or die by our political leadership. And stop shitting on the American people, you absolute moron.
Other leaders would see me and they'd say it's a miracle. President Xi told me that a few weeks ago in China. And he's coming here on September, I think, 24th. Coming in September, the end of September. Going to be exciting. But he said the same thing. The king of Saudi Arabia said it. Everyone said almost the same words.
It's funny. It's almost as if you made it up in your head and you can't remember who you originally said it. So now you're just concocting a story about all of them, putting words in their mouth. So if they say, no, that wasn't me, they have to actively choose to insult you and the United States. So you're hiding behind the coattails of America.
We're a dead country. We never thought you had a chance. You were never going to make it back. And in a period of 1 year, you made it the hottest country anywhere in the world. We all did that together. It's not me. We all did it together. And we do. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we're going to keep it going. And I just want to say, this is a room. I have tremendous respect for the people in this room. Sometimes I don't feel you treat me fair. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I don't feel that. But sometimes you treat me very fairly. And I have a lot of respect for your profession. Your profession's amazing. And I just want to thank you for having me. And it's been fun. And
Oh my God, it's been fun. It has not. It's been a tortured fucking mess.
I've met a lot of great people. And, I used an expression. I've used it right from the
Oh God. Make America Great Again or America First? I think it's Make America Great Again.
beginning. I did this for one reason, to make America great again. And that's what's happening right before your very eyes. We have made America great again. And it's going to get a lot greater. So thank you all very much.
Oh, it's already done. I didn't realize. Yeah, we're already great. Okay, cool. Well, then I would just fuck off and let us, if we want to be greater, we'll work on it.
an honor to be with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. I don't understand. Okay, that was shit. Thank you, everybody. He's looking at the Fox table. And then I sit down again. What happened? Yeah, keep the camera off him when he's sitting down. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. Ugh. And then he spoke today, and this was equally a mess. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm already running over. But look at this. Like, he's just high as a fucking kite. He's baked at the top of this one.
Very much. In our country, and we will spend more.
Hold on. I got to pause this like till she announces him because they play the whole fucking song. And then he goes out and... Right. And this is him at the GM plant. Somebody else calls him a pedo protector, that kind of stuff. And he just stands there like a dipshit. And then till the song's over. This is so fucking embarrassing by itself. And he's already over it, by the way. Oh, and he does the whole wow thing again. Which is, This thing right here.
Wow. Well, thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be back. I love this place. I won. This place is beautiful. This beautiful state I won. We won by a lot.
He's loopy for this whole one.
Great to be back in Michigan, and hello.
They brought up a bunch of like Congress people that he's campaigning for because they're in deep shit in Michigan, and he's trying to help them win or get over the top or whatever in their particular races. And he seems almost tipsy.
Men and women of General Motors. And before we begin, I have to say, so I had a wonderful father, right? And he was a hard worker. He was in the real estate business. And for him, super luxury. This is all he didn't want planes. They didn't have planes in those days, I don't think. He didn't
Of course they had fucking planes.
want anything. You know what he wanted? A Cadillac every 2 years. This was to him the sign of luxury. This
Right, and you didn't do that. You bought Mercedes, I think.
was the greatest thing, and he got every 2 years like you could count on it. You could sit your
Like clockwork.
clocks by it. And by
Like clockwork.
the way, speaking of that, let's get rid of daylight saving time stuff, okay? We have a bill in. Hopefully the Senate's going to approve that one. The House approved it, and we're going to get rid of that, just to mention, it's called the weave, right? We always get back to the right subject, but...
Because you have a teleprompter, and the guy goes, hey, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hey, stupid.
Anyway, but I did. I had a father, his luxury Mary, his super, that's all he wanted. He just wanted a brand new Cadillac, and I have to tell you a little secret. He had it stretched a little bit. This way he could be his own chauffeur. He wouldn't have to hire a chauffeur. He could drive it himself, or he could have somebody else, but he could also drive it himself. Did you ever
What?
hear that? This could be a new concept for a car. But I had a wonderful father.
What the fuck? Did it have a steering wheel in the back like the fucking orangutan in Cannonball Run 2?
And he loved Cadillac, and I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful state, and I'm honored to be the first sitting president to visit one of the most storied places in the history of American automaking, and that's the world-famous General Motors Proving Ground.
Also sitting president because it's usually a campaign stop. And most presidents go to the actual factory where the workers work specifically.
And we just got back. We watched some cars, and they are beautiful cars, but I was very also impressed with, that was the largest piece of asphalt I think I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of big asphalt, but I've never seen one that big. I said, you got to be kidding.
I think they laughed because they thought he was saying piece of asphalt. And I like a big asphalt, but blah, blah, blah. Ugh, God, I can't. So chat room, we finished up the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think the overall takeaway was that it was weak and flop sweaty and stupid and a waste of time. And it ate up, what we would normally do on a night like tonight. I have other clips, but I got to go. So I do want to show you one thing that seems to be consistent. I want to keep an eye out over the next couple days. And I don't have a show tomorrow because that's right. And my show would be right in the middle of sound check for the jam tomorrow night. But you remember this guy, the redacted dude? Okay. The guy who scammed people out of their money and had to leave the country. He's wearing a silence equals complicity shirt or whatever. And the title of this is It's All One Big Lie. It all feels like one big lie. And then Tucker's video from the same time period is Everything You Know Is a Lie. Now, I talked about how stupid this one was because he was just waking up to the fact that a bunch of people are using AI agents to trade oil and shit. Yeah, it's the same. He talks about that one. Yeah. And but both of them are selling the same shit. And ultimately, everything's a giant big lie, and the swamp is controlling everything, and there's just no way to escape it. And you might feel, you're heartbroken over it. Well, no, because during Biden, he got an infrastructure act passed. He got a rescue package passed with a ton of environmental stuff in it. If he was allowed to continue on, we wouldn't be in Iran. We wouldn't have fucking kidnapped a leader of a South American country. We would become less dependent on oil over the time that he was president. There would be a lot more, justice going on. So the socialist entities are thriving? Yeah. Yeah, that's the lie, I suppose. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So, meanwhile, yes, that's the only thing that isn't a lie. Is this guy? Why in the world? Yeah, Farrago's just being a dick right now. What is going on? Hold on. Go over here because it's going to annoy me. I'm just going to fix this on my way out the door. Go in here just for a second. See if this goes out this way. Nope, guess not. That's funky. Okay. I'm going to have to remove it every time I use it. That's fucking weird. Okay. Create channel. Put it back in. There we go. And see if that worked.
I like wood.
There it is.
Deeper and longer.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is that now that Trump is in, and everything that we said he was going to do, he's doing. And everything they said about what Biden and Harris were going to do or are doing is a genuine lie that they told. Now that that's true, everything's a lie. And his big tell in this is that commodity markets can't be, that there's some big system controlling the whole thing. I guess essentially because people trade on the whims of the president and there can be market manipulation. I'll show you this real quick. Fuck it. I'm just going to play a little bit and I'll just show you this little piece.
If you grew up in the United States, you have learned the hard way that a lot of the things you were taught as a child were not true.
Nonsense.
Diversity is not our strength.
Diversity is not our strength. Why is that not the case? What do you mean? Again, not a fact, an opinion. You're not uncovering some sort of big secret here. You just feel that way because it scares you.
The government is not necessarily on your side.
All right. The government is not necessarily on your side. No, in many ways, it should be on the side of enforcing and protecting the Constitution. And if you're in line with that, you'll feel fine. And if you're out of line with that, you might feel like the government is up against you. Like if you're, I don't know, hoarding grenades in your fucking basement.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, no, you can't et cetera, based on your own odd paranoia, especially as a second-generation rich kid.
But one thing you likely still believe is that markets are real.
Okay. Markets aren't real. Prove it to me, Tucker Carlson. Markets are real. The price of something is based on supply and demand, and it's not real and it's never been real. You likely believed this your whole life, and you likely still believe it now, even though it's been a lie your whole life.
You have every reason to believe that because markets, as conceived or as sold to the American public, are completely transparent.
Okay, first of all, as sold to the American people? What do you mean? You don't think markets exist throughout the world in varying forms, with varying limitations and extensions?
We can watch them on a ticker. We know exactly what the price of shares in any publicly traded company is doing at any moment. And in commodities, whether it's oil or gas or soybeans or wheat, doesn't matter. We can watch it.
Right. And so there's a big difference between commodities and stocks, because commodities are by and large must-haves foodstuffs, energy sources, that kind of stuff. It's not the same as an Apple stock. These are two different things. But let's see just how fucking stupid this asshole is.
That fluctuations in price are driven, maybe not exclusively, but in the end, primarily by the supply of whatever's being traded.
No. It would be a balance between supply and demand. First year economics student or somebody taking fucking home ec.
Supply and demand governs market traded. The principle of supply and demand governs markets. If something is scarce and much sought after, it's expensive, diamonds. If something is abundant.
Also, diamonds are not scarce and much sought after now that they can be made in a lab. Real diamonds might be more scarce and therefore held at a higher level, but synthetic diamonds are equal, if not greater, than the ones that you mine someplace. So what's the fucking difference? Whatever.
And has limited use, sand on your beach, it's cheap. Supply and demand govern price. Mm-hmm. Very few people, from Keynesians to Austrians, it doesn't matter what kind of economic theory you buy into. It doesn't matter if you're a DSA member or a neocon or a Newt Gingrich Republican. You can understand how markets work because it's very, very simple. And you see that principle reflected in daily life from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. So it hasn't dawned on most people to suspect that commodities markets are rigged. How could you rig a commodities market?
By buying up a bunch of a particular commodity and storing it for later. And then when the price goes up because the supply is lower from whatever, you can insert your own supply into it, therefore evening out the imbalance between supply and demand with something, I don't know, like this strategic petroleum reserve. I'm just fucking spitballing here.
Commodities market is not controlled by any one person, you don't think. So how could that happen?
It isn't, by the way. I don't think, and also it isn't. The commodities market is not controlled by any one person.
Well, it's time to start thinking deeply about this. And by the way, for those who are interested in exploring this, we recommend so strongly a piece by Ron Unz. Came out a couple of days ago in the Unz Review. You can find it online. Last name is UNZ, one of the deepest and most interesting thinkers in the United States. Wrote
Fabulous. Get to the point.
A piece about what is happening in oil markets. And again, it's worth the read.
Here's what's happening in oil markets. We were headed towards a glut in 2025 during the election season. It was becoming much more, people were growing in awareness of it. There was a fear that Trump might take another bite at the Iran apple, especially after the bombing last year. And in 2024, rather, was when I was telling people there's going to be an oil glut. Then finally, Bloomberg admitted it 6 months later. It's because demand is going down. And the more expensive it gets, the more you have demand shock where people demand destruction, where people just decide, I want another fuel source for my vehicle. And we were moving in that trend. And Biden was right. We're moving towards electric vehicles over time. Trump tried to fix that for the oil companies and make us more reliant on them, kill all the electric charging stations and all the stuff that was in the Infrastructure Act, try to slow that process. But nobody really could because Europe's already on that direction. China's already on that direction. They're pushing for it in greater numbers to get their electric cars out in the fucking world. Let's see. What was that? Okay. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yes, Liberal Dan, I'll toss to you in just a second. That'd be cool. So we'll rate Liberal Dan in a moment. But so we're heading into an oil glut. Everybody knew it. There's two ways to handle an oil glut. Watch as the price continues to go down and start making plans where you do something else. Or if you're in the oil you're in the oil industry, or you're too stupid to come up with new technology and you want to stay in the oil business for a long time, you can do things like attack Iran and drive the price up temporarily, limit the supply so that you can sell it at a higher point, and then when the bottom falls out, you're gone. You've got a big paycheck and you're fucked off.
Summarize it in 4 sentences. So the price of oil that the consumer understands mostly, if you're a CNBC watcher, you judge it by something called the price of Brent crude. Brent crude, there's a Brent oil field near the Shetland Islands in the North Sea. It's actually, I don't think, operating anymore, but Brent crude is the name that oil traders use for sweet light crude. That means less viscous, lower sulfur content, easier to refine into gasoline.
Yeah, that's the stuff we have here, and we can't refine it because our refineries are built for the Venezuelan thicker stuff, and it doesn't matter. It's in parallel. Nobody's actually judging our economy just on Brent crude. It's WTI. It's crude oil overall.
It's the majority of oil traded in the West is light sweet crude. We call it Brent crude. So if you want to know what oil prices are, you look up something called the price of Brent crude. And it's kind of a commonly agreed upon measure in the West for what oil costs. And you can look it up on your phone. It's like the price of gold or silver or any other commodity. And so when this war started, the price was maybe $70, something like that. I think it was about $70, $72, something like that. That would be the end of February. So again, the war is taking place at the center of the global oil trade, which is the Persian Gulf. And so naturally, the price went up. And then in April, the strait is closed, and oil predictably shoots up to, maybe getting the number wrong, but maybe $118 a barrel for Brent crude. And that seemed honestly a little bit low, considering that 20% of global oil just got taken off the market, just wasn't flowing out of the Gulf.
Okay, a couple of things. China had stored an extra billion barrels of oil when they are responsible for why we have a glut in the first place. They don't need as much. And so they were just buying it when it was cheap and storing it. And they were given a special pass by Donald Trump to buy as much Russian, shit under the table as they wanted. That's been part of the unspoken equation this entire time. That's why they have so much in storage. That's why it doesn't affect them. Most of the oil that's going for them as far as big outlet, that's Chinese use of that oil in particular, especially what comes from Iran. This isn't sweet like crude going through there anyways. Well, you'll see what his reasoning is as to why the price went way up and not quite as high and then back down again.
There's also extensive damage to oil extraction facilities, to oil refineries, to petrochemical plants. I mean, there's a lot of damage, not just to the oil wells, but to all the downstream machinery involved in refining
refineries.
oil. So anyway, it seemed a little bit low, but at the end of April, it reached what turned out to be its highest point, and then it did something quite amazing. It went down. There was a time this month with a straight...
By the way, just real quick. This is the end of April. Wait, here is it. There you go. Where is it going? End of April. Here it is. End of April, it was still going up. At the end of April, it jockeyed back and forth because Trump was saying, we're good with the MOU, whatever. And May 18th is when they actually did the memorandum, or June 10th, the memorandum of understanding comes in, and the idea is like, oh, here it comes. And then everybody was like, oh, wait, this is bullshit. And then Trump got to this point and was like, oh, shit, here we go. And so he called off the fighting, and it went back down to 88. It is currently, where is it? Whoops, sorry. It is currently at 81,939 crude oil. Brent is at 87. So there you go. All right.
Closed.
So fucking painfully dumb.
When oil, as priced on the Brent crude market, oil was cheaper by a few cents per barrel than it was before the war started.
Hold on. No. Nope. It has not been cheaper than before the war started this whole fucking time. Even when it got to here, even when it got to 70, it still didn't ditch down below where it was here. All right, there you go. This is 71.80. This is where's the high point? The high water mark. 73.60. That's what he's trying to tell you, is this little blurb right here, this one moment, like single day shock trade when somebody probably did a put on a bunch of oil because they knew this shit was coming and they got a payday. And that wasn't until July that it hit that point again, in the middle of the MOU.
Rate was closed. Now, you don't have to be Larry Summers or a Harvard-trained economist to wonder, like, what the hell is that? How could that possibly be? You take 20% of the supply offline and the price goes down?
It didn't go, 20% of it didn't go offline. About 5 to 7 million of it went out through pipelines or increased production going through the pipelines. There were other resourcing of those kind of things. There were stuff was being trucked out. Trump relieved the sanctions on Russian boats that were full of oil sitting at sea.
And you hear people say, well, China stopped importing a lot of oil. True. But this is a market. And
And China is the single biggest buyer of that oil in particular. Dumbass.
investing are basically making a bet on what's going to happen in the future. These are futures. So China can't stop buying Gulf oil forever.
Right. And that's what the jockeying of the number was, especially during the MOU, was the idea that forever it may have come finally.
And there aren't an extra 20 million barrels a day of oil anywhere on the planet.
Yes, there are. This is why Trump attacked Venezuela first, to get that supply in. They diverted 5 to 7 million barrels of what was going through the Strait through the pipelines. It's why the Houthis are attacking the Saudi ships that are going out of there, because that will impact that number again. Which is what's going to happen over the next week, which is where Trump's going to we're going to kick their ass.
It up and be like, okay, we'll just replace the oil with this. So there's a global shortage of this commodity.
No, there isn't. There's too much of it already, and a bunch of people have a bunch stored up. Then they've got their strategic reserves, which are down anyways, but we're reaching a point where if it spikes again like this, we're already moving towards demand destruction.
So the run-ons piece has all kinds of different potential explanations for this that are very interesting.
Super interesting.
And, it's not clear that we can settle on any one of them, but we can say unequivocally at this point that oil markets, at least the Brent crude market, do not reflect reality, which is to say they're fake.
No, fuck you. Oh, God, this is so aggravating. Fake is this asshole and his his like-minded fellow travelers throw around fake all the fucking time. And it's the same way Trump does with fake news. Manipulated is not fake. And if it's a lie specifically, then they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're buying. If they're not getting the price they could get for their oil, then they're stupid. If they're selling it for less than it's worth, they're stupid. If they buy a bunch of oil at a high price and there's plenty of it floating around, they're stupid. Nobody's doing that. The demand is down, and it's continuing to go down. And it's materially going down everywhere except the United States, where Donald Trump has set us back to late 1990 standards because he wishes.
Manipulated by people, and as Ronans points out in his piece, that's not a crazy idea.
Also, how? How is it manipulated by people? If they're raising the supply when demand is high, they're not manipulating the market. They're trying to keep the price stable. Happens all the fucking time.
I mean, GameStop
is a meme stock, has nothing to do with it. It's not necessary to anybody. You could have it or not have it. This is a stupid fucking analogy.
Famously, publicly traded company that was tanking became an incredibly valuable company because a bunch of guys in their boxer shorts in their rec rooms decided to spike the price by buying shares.
Stupid analogy. Doesn't factor at all.
Same with Hertz during COVID.
Nope. Still doesn't make any sense at all. These aren't parallel. Commodity trading is not the same as stocks. Dickhead.
So we have precedent for small determined groups of people manipulating public markets like that.
Okay, that's not, no, because those stocks aren't necessary for life or the engine of productivity.
That happens.
God damn, this is dumb.
Could it happen in a market this big and this closely watched? Who knows? Another possible explanation
that isn't as patently idiotic
is AI. So it turns out, one of the many facts that you learn in watching this war, that the majority of oil futures trading, I think about 70%, is done by machines. It's done by AI. There's no people. It's done automatically.
Also, it's not AI. These are programs that are triggered on specific trends.
Automatically, in the way that we target drones and missiles now. We just let the machine decide.
So he said, why did oil go down today when the Houthis destroyed 3 Saudi refineries and pipeline another 400K barrels offline? Because there's still no demand for it. There just isn't. Again, the Chinese were the only people who were, in theory, building up their oil use, and they've got plenty. That's where that's going. That's where that oil would have went.
To kill. So apparently in futures markets, oil futures markets, the machine decides when and how much to buy. How does the machine make that decision? Well, of course, the same way that AI makes all decisions with the use of language. And so
also patently false as well. AI does not do it just based on language. There aren't chatbots running these fucking things. They're trend lines that follow the data. Like nobody is letting fucking ChatGPT or Claude decide their trillion-dollar oil trades every day.
Is that by making public statements that the Strait of Hormuz is irrelevant and the U.S. government, President Trump, have this completely under control and that energy prices are not actually rising. In fact, they're going down. When you look around, they are rising. And by the way, if you try to buy a barrel of oil, let's say on the internet, it tells you they're priced at $72 or 84. I think it's 84 today. Can you actually buy a barrel of oil for $84?
No, that's not how the trading goes. It's an average price across a large, like I think you have to buy them by a baker's dozen, I think.
If I want to buy a barrel of sweet light crude for $84, where would I find that?
I don't know, but it sounds like you want to pour it on yourself, and that creeps me out.
And no news organization has bothered to actually call the biggest retailers around the world and ask, what are you actually selling a barrel of oil for?
Because all the traders are hiding a big secret amongst themselves that could either make them super rich or break them, and they're not sharing it with the news media because they want to go broke first.
No one's decided to do that for some reason, probably because they all support this war.
Yes, all the press support the war because they're not calling the retail traders and asking if the oil price that you see as the fluctuating price is actually what they're selling a single metal barrel of oil for. What the fuck?
But if you were to do that, you probably wouldn't find anybody who would sell you a barrel at the price listed on the internet. So
that's because they're assuming you're going to kind of buy the whole goddamn boat full.
So the internet price is not the real price, right? By definition. But how did they get to that fake price in the
Maybe they have a promo code, you fucking twerp.
First place, and it may be
I hate this shit so much. This is so dumb.
That the AI traders read news stories about the price of oil, and prominent in those news stories are statements from American officials saying actually prices are down. They're never going to go up. The Strait of Hormuz is irrelevant.
Sorry, so the AIs don't see the statements from the Iraqi foreign minister going, we're not talking to them. We have no interest in talking to them. We'll fuck them up if they come through here and we still control the strait. What are you talking about? These are personal traders, friends of Trump and others that are buying and selling based on his tipping the market. This is straight up old-fashioned verbal corruption.
And they calculate their decisions.
Okay. Anyways, you get the point. This is fucking ridiculous. And there's a bunch of these assholes talking like this. And the redactoid himself watched this video and then tries to make the same point himself. Like they're manipulating the markets. Of course they are. Yeah, look at the farm bill, you dumb motherfucker. You think a bale of, like a bushel of wheat costs what it costs to the average person if you went to a farmer's market? What do tomatoes cost if you buy them at a farmer's market versus a giant truckload? Are you stupid? This is so lazy. And the idea that they're selling it like the world you live in is a lie. Nothing you believe is real. You've been sold a bill of goods by the big machine. Shut the fuck up. You sound jealous. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go because I think Liberal Dan is going live. Excellent. Okay, so I'll throw you over to him, and I got to get in a car and drive to LA. So so I don't have to drive the entire circular route in one 24-hour period. It's better than driving in the morning and then driving out at midnight and being comatose for my Wednesday show, which is very important. Anyways, hopefully I will see some of you folks at the Jam if you're in the LA area. Ultimate Jam Night. We're celebrating songs in the key of black. And it will help that I go and rest my voice from this point until tomorrow. Because I got to open with Back in Black and close with Queensryche's The Lady Wore Black. I mean, a sane person would reverse those, but I mean, come on. So I get to just keep my mouth shut and hum for the next 24 hours. In the meantime, though, I will say, yeah, Some Strong Shit is right. These are some good songs. I'm very excited. All right, but I'll let you guys go, and I'll send you out with a single of my band that's available now on iTunes that I wrote because of Artemis. So, to be completely honest, I had the music written for a long time, and I scrapped the verses because I never really finished it, and then it turned it into this. And it worked, I think. Anyways, hit the like, share the show, subscribe, patreon.com/HalSparks, etc., etc., etc. Helmet hair, shaking on the tarmac. Move dust. There we go. You look up, but your sky is crowded. Tiny screens drowning out the span. Every face glowing in the blue light. Every street buzzing sharp and loud. I float in the gravity of old fights. You laugh like it's just another cloud. From up there, you're a blue marble, bruised paper thin halo, hanging abused. I held my breath as you spun in the dark. How can you burn what you are? How can you burn what you are? Saw your eyes through a scratched window. Porcelain balanced on black. Every wall looked like dust and water. Every border just a nervous crack. Thank you, guys. Now I'm back and the ground feels fragile. Cracked cups stacked in a kitchen sink. Your scream about lines on a map while your oceans crawl closer to the brink.